is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. We made it, Al.
Yes.
It's Friday of this crazy week, October 9th. I'm Tori here with my buddy, Al. And Brandon, my other buddy, joins us from home. It's 1950, apparently, and you guys are my buddies.
Yes.
Let's go have a milkshake. How are you, Brandon?
I'm all well, Tori, but if you had to say who's the best buddy between me and Al, just go ahead and throw that out there
getting it
and let him
started
down.
early.
Let him down.
I like it.
What's that? Oh, I gotta go. Here we go to the next story. Did you all hear, this is everywhere, about this insane plot to kidnap, I'm being real here, the governor of Michigan? The FBI stopped it, thank God, but here's the story. 13 men were arrested. They were all members of 2 militia groups, and again, I want to talk about that word after this, who were allegedly preparing to kidnap and possibly kill Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and even bring bombs to the Capitol to spark a civil war. Do you guys remember back in April when a large group of armed men stormed the Michigan Capitol? Remember that? Well, 2 of the suspects were seen in photos from that day. Here's what Whitmer told GMA.
This was a very serious, thought-out plot to kill police officers, to bomb our Capitol, killing press and Democrats and Republicans alike, and to kidnap and ultimately put me on trial and kill me as well. These are the types of things you hear from groups like ISIS. This is not a militia. It is a domestic terror organization.
So I want to talk about that word. What does this mean? Where we're headed? But I do want to say, anytime I say militia, you might want to correct yourself and say domestic terrorism and know that it's the biggest threat we have right now in the United States. I went to Michigan. I was very aware, University of Michigan, of a lot of militias and anarchists in Michigan, but I never thought we'd get to a point where it almost happened. Al, what do you think?
Going back to that word, Tori, why is a militia, but the Bloods and Crips are a gang? I don't understand that. I would make the argument that at least with the Bloods and the Crips, with the mafia, the Italian,
it's organized,
right. And it's a profit-based motive.
Wow.
You know, so when there are killings, it is usually over territory, over business. Whether you agree with that or not, that's just their own separate thing. These are people that have showed up armed to the teeth in broad daylight, been called militia, which gives them, they didn't pick that word out of a hat, that gives them, it makes you think maybe like paramilitary. These are just dudes with guns that are just rolled up in the State House and no one said anything, Brandon. So you know, the fact that we're here because this went unchecked, Dylan Roof, because this went unchecked, Stephen Paddock. Do you even hear, does anybody know who Stephen Paddock is, the Vegas shooter? Why don't we hear their name? Brandon, do you think anybody really knows it could put Dylan Roof's face with his name? Why is it that certain people's images are shoved down our throats and we had one of the greatest mass shootings in American history, and I would say 80% of Americans don't know who Stephen Paddock is?
Brandon?
You know why, Al? Because people, I think the American people are trying to put a mask on the biggest problem or the biggest threat that we have domestically here in America. And it's like, I don't understand how people can be pro-American. You can be a patriot and you can be pro-law enforcement, but you will not condemn people who are trying to go in and kidnap a governor, who are trying to actively kill law enforcement and citizens. Because look, if you're pro-blue, guess who has to run to the roar to go save this woman's life, this governor's life?
Well said.
Guess who has mothers or brothers or sisters as civilians that can get caught in the crossfire? Americans, we need to wake up and realize that this domestic terrorism, white supremacy, it's not militias. This white supremacy is a threat to all of us.
That's very well said. I thought both of you brought up great points. You guys are writing in like mad. A lot of you from Michigan. Yolanda just writes unchecked. And I think that's such a good word because the consequences weren't there in the first place, so you push it a little further every time.
Exactly.
Let us know if you're from Michigan. We'd love to hear a first-person account as well if you're in that state. Well, so many Americans are struggling right now, especially everyone who works for the airlines. My heart, really, it goes out to them. And hospitality. There are some new surveys just showing how bad it is. 1 in 5 Americans could be out of money by Election Day. Less than 4 weeks from now, 52% of restaurants and bars could be forced out of the business in the next 4 to 6 months in some places if restrictions are not lifted. I feel like we're just ignoring this. We're like, la, 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 it's not gonna happen. People are just gonna can't eat. We can't go to restaurants. You can't pay your rent. Brandon, do you feel like we're basically facing a depression coming this fall?
I surely do hope not, Tori, but from the looks of things, absolutely yes. I mean, when you look at the day that President Trump got coronavirus, you look at the stock market and how it dropped. You look at the reaction from people when we found out that there was going to be no more talks when it came to another stimulus package for economic relief. And just think about it. There are a lot of people out there, when people are talking about jobs, we want people to go back and get back to work. There are people out there that you've lost a career.
Yeah.
You've lost a career. You can't just go back to a job and just be like, hey, I'm just gonna drive Uber. No, you've lost your career.
Yeah.
So there are people who are waiting for these stimulus packages and these checks to try and stay afloat, Tori. And I feel for these people.
Yeah, and Al always said this, and I've always really appreciated the dignity of having a job. The dignity of having a career, of going up the ladder, is just evaporated. Am I right, Al?
Right, and to have that taken away from you for no fault of your own, and then be forced to beg the government for some kind of assistance is even doubly, as I'm not going to use the word embarrassing because it's not, but it hurts. It hurts because the person is already down. But Tori and Brandon, I just want to remind you guys, like, this makes me think about the autism benefit that Tori and I did downtown. What was it, 2 months ago now? Yeah. And Brandon, just how this whole thing is an ecosystem, man. It's like we think like, oh, this business just closed or this office building is just shut down, but it's like, who cleans that office building? Right. What about the little cafe downstairs that everybody goes and eats at? What about the people that give parking tickets to the people that park in front of that cafe? It's an ecosystem of everybody feeding off of it so we can all eat and prosper. And because we did not handle this well, the ecosystem has unraveled from the top down. Yeah. There's no one working. There's no Ubers. There's no flights. There's no vacations. There's no hint of a cruise ship. There's no movies. And we're all just sitting here like, let's do another episode of Daily Blast Live. Things are crazy right now. Can we just say that? My voice is echoing because there's no one in our studio. Here we are. I hope everybody's happy. I hope you owned them, because here we are.
Nothing to say to that except amen. We want to get your opinion on this next story. This woman was not allowed on a Southwest Airlines flight, well said, Al, because the airline said her top was lewd, obscene, and offensive. The woman recorded what happened to her, including when the pilot tried to find a solution. Let's take a look.
They're hating on you because you're looking good. Is that right?
I don't take this lightly at all. I would like to get on my plane.
If they have it in their book, or where they want you to cover up, are you willing to do that?
I want to see it because I'm not, right now I was just giving police my body.
Good for her. The pilot ended up giving her a large T-shirt, which she did wear on the flight. Southwest said they promote a, quote, family-centric environment, and they leave it up to passengers to use good judgment and exercise discretion. They then did apologize to the woman. They refunded her flight, but she insists it's not right to tell her what to wear because of the way she's shaped. DBL Nation, we want to know what you think. Was this outfit appropriate to wear in a flight? Wow, my favorite part of that whole thing, which I found absolutely disgusting, when she said, I want to see the policy. Stand up for yourself. You feel as if you're a property. And as a black woman, I can only speak from people I know. The low that you feel after that is incredibly undignified. Al, what do you think? Do you think that's lewd?
Tori, that doesn't bother me at all. I lived in Miami 10 years. People walk around like that all day. Yes, that's not an issue for me. But Tori, and then Brandon, as a woman, Tori, would you wear something like that?
No, I wouldn't. But, but I also would never have, first of all, some people are going to write us in and say that was super offensive. Let's just be honest. A lot of people think that was really low cut. So I understand that. But when you do it to always women, and it's always usually people of color, and it's always larger, and they're always curvier, there seems to be a pattern. If it smells like a duck, it might be a duck. Brandon, do you agree?
Absolutely, Tori. I mean, if it quacks, it's a duck, you know. But it's unfortunate because I would like to see. I would like to see what if a male was to wear like a tank
Right.
top. I don't want to say like the phrase of what we used to
Sure.
call that.
Sure.
But if the male wears that tank top, I want to see the same energy placed to him to get him off the flight as well.
And Brandon, I've seen people get on flights with that kind of tank top. It's called an A-frame tank top, technically. Or also think about, you know, the tank tops that bodybuilders wear, the spaghetti string, where it's almost like just two thin strings that comes down to show their pecs off. I don't think that person would be kicked off.
Oh, 100%.
I lived in Florida for 10 years.
Yeah.
No. I've seen
You've
some
worn
stuff.
those shirts.
Yes.
Well, no, he has.
Whoops, okay. You got me to agree.
Yes.
I guess it smells like a duck.
It does
make
smell
up
like,
another
shut up.
saying. No one knows what a duck smells like.
Kind of poultry. Brandon, don't go away. Write us in if you disagree with us. We want to get into a conversation. Coming up on DBL, two big names in children's entertainment, Barbie and Sesame Street, are tackling racism. Will starting the discussion at a young age make a difference later in life? Welcome back to DBL. There's so much going on in the world, and for parents or grandparents, it often means trying to explain really complicated issues like racism to little kids. Well, now some well-known kids brands are trying to help. My favorite of all, Sesame Street, will air a half-hour anti-racism special called The Power of We, with the message that racism hurts and it's wrong. It'll feature skits and songs in a Zoom-like format and streams later this month on HBO Max. That's not the only one. Even Barbie is sitting down to have a tough conversation about racism with her gal pal Nikki. Check out this clip from her latest vlog. Barbie is a vlog?
I know.
Barbie and I had a sticker selling contest on the beach last month. We split up and went different directions to see who could sell the most. Well, while I was on the boardwalk, beach security stopped me 3 times.
What?
They asked me all these questions over and over, and they even called my mom. I never told you, but that's why I sold a few stickers that day. The security officers thought I was doing something bad, even though I was doing exactly what you were doing. Usually, when I talk about these things, people make excuses. People did these things to me because I was black, and they made the wrong assumptions about me.
And they don't make those assumptions about white people like me.
Barbie. Different than when I had it. I used to cut their heads off. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about
that. Would explain how we got here.
We'll talk about that later. We will. But I will say this. I learned death from a Sesame Street episode, and I wondered if a lot of you out there did. Mr. Hooper died. He was playing he's a real person.
I remember that,
And
yes.
he was in the store.
He's like a shop owner, right?
Yeah, shop owner. And he actually died in real life, and Big Bird didn't understand where Mr. Hooper went. And I found it more comforting and more real to me as a kid than any adult teaching me. Al, what do you think? Will you show this to your kids?
I will, but you know what, Tori, as somebody that has 3 kids, your kids know a lot more than you give them credit for. And I'll tell you guys this, as adults, I know we're supposed to have a conversation as adults about, is this appropriate, is this not? You guys have to understand the kids are in the exact same world you are.
Wow.
They're being confronted with things maybe on a different in a different way, but they're dealing with these things as well, and they're making their own assumptions about the world. So we can either aid them with that, or we can hide it from them and then have it hit them like a ton of bricks at 26 years old. So I'm all for this, but I understand how some people wouldn't be. B, what do you think, man?
Yeah, what's your take, Bilo?
Look, I understand that a lot of people feel like it's the parents' job to educate these children, but let's be honest, there's a lot of people out there who shouldn't be parents. So if you need a Sesame Street or a Barbie to teach these kids or to show them empathy and how racism is wrong, then I am okay with it. Again, I don't have kids, so I can't really tell anyone how to raise their children, but I've seen my 2.5-year-old niece, through watching Bubble Guppies, understand that red and yellow makes orange. Yeah. So if Big Bird or Elmo also wants to teach her that racism is wrong, I'm okay with that. And I know that my brother or my sister-in-law is going to teach her that as well.
That's a good point, but I will also add a lot of parents who both work, their kids are raised by television, and this could actually help.
YouTube. Yeah.
And YouTube, you're absolutely right.
And also, Brandon just made me the Bubble Guppies theme song that was in my head for about 3 years is back. So thank you for that.
We'll be right back. What does it go like?
You're welcome,
Bubble,
sir.
bubble, bubble, guppy, guppy, guppy.
Welcome back to DBL. Steph Johnson is helping people experiencing homelessness by sharing their voices. And the choir she formed went straight to the finals of America's Got Talent. Erica has their empowering story in today's DBL Spotlight.
I've met people who were having to fight for their life. I wanted to help.
We're so excited to have you. Steph, I want to start with you. First, I want to know, how did you form the Voices of Our City?
I started the choir about 4 years ago with a friend of mine, Nina Deering. I grew up in San Diego, and I noticed so many people living unsheltered on the streets. And I took my guitar and food and just started to cruise around and meet people. We bonded as artists. You know, I think people at first were like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Steph, I play music. And so we met as artists.
That's just being resourceful, and that's a shining example of that. So Dee Dee, I want to ask you how being a part of Voices of Our City has affected your life personally.
As a senior, having gone through being homeless actually for 7 years, and 2 years prior to being introduced to the choir is really my family.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
You know, Dee Dee, I really appreciate you being so generous with your testimony, because I know that will resonate with so many others. And you guys have not only made a difference, it has catapulted you into the spotlight. So describe the moment that you received the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. What was going through your minds?
First of all, when we started the choir, we had no intention of going out and performing live. It was just a safe place to make music. And we walked out and the audience was like overwhelmingly supportive. It's so special. So, and plus that was an original song written by the choir, Sounds of the Sidewalk. It was so moving, it was so important. And for us to finish the song, Simon Cowell stands up, everyone's giving us a standing ovation. I look at the choir, it always chokes me up. They're so pumped. And then, you know, Terry Crews to walk out and slam the golden buzzer. It changed everything.
So how can we support Voices of Our City, and how do we hear more music from the choir?
In the cold mirror of a glass, I see my reflection.
Well, you can go to voicesofourcity.org. Please check out all the things that we're doing. You can visit our donate page and support us. Every dollar helps us.
Well, Steph and Dee Dee, our DBL Nation is behind you. We are giving you standing ovations from our couches. So thank you so much for sharing your voices with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Attention.
Welcome back to DBL. Would you travel with a perfect stranger during the pandemic if your friends bailed on you?
No.
Well, we're done with the segment. Thanks, everyone. We're chatting about it in today's DBL Drive, sponsored by who, y'all?
CarShield.
Thank you. So get this. Josiah Burton and Therese Roca were total strangers. Both had international plans, but their friends canceled because of COVID. So Josiah asked a Facebook travel group, is anyone willing to visit Turkey with me when he was there? Therese answered, and the rest is history. They got to know each other, they shared their itineraries, and now their story has gone viral. When it comes to traveling, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. Well, we got a lot of response, Al, from especially the woman being kicked off the plane. Charmaine says South Beach is one thing, Al, but a flight is 100% different. Dina says I'm all for body positivity, but not everything is fat shaming. And Michael says she needs to put some clothes on.
All right.
Interesting.
There's always another side.
And I get that you would find it a lot. I do get that. And a lot of older people or people of a different generation would think that's not modest. But would you want so far that you'd want her kicked off the plane? Maybe you just don't look. But let me know if you disagree with me. That's what DBL is all about.
It seems like you could just solve this by turning your head.
Seems like this, right?
Just turn your head. She's off the flight. When you turn your head, she's off the flight.
There you go. We'll see you Monday. Same time, same place. She's gone, she's here. She's gone, she's here. Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Who were the 13 men charged? How was their plan foiled? And were they trying to incite a civil war? A woman is nearly removed from a flight because her low-cut top. Do you think her outfit is obscene? Plus, what the pilot did to keep her from being kicked off. Sesame Street and Barbie are trying to teach children about racism.
If we all work together, we can make a big difference.
How are these kids shows handling this difficult topic? And Love After Lockup's Dr. Ish. Why are people marrying inmates? And is dating criminals worth all the trouble?
And we all deserve second chances, right?
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, October 9th. I'm Sam here with Tori. I barely made it up here. I'm a little out of breath.
You did good.
The Denver altitude does not help.
It's been 3 years.
Yep, I have a little gap right here because we're working on a safety pin situation.
Tell it like it is.
I just want to announce it before other people start writing in that I have a hole right here. It's all good, people. It's Friday, thank God. Erica joining us remotely. Hey, E, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Happy Friday.
Yes. We need that. Totally. We need that. Yes, we do.
And I love your fireplace again. She looks like she's in a Game of Thrones cave. Good for you. It's unbelievable.
Erica doesn't watch Game of Thrones, and either do I. So that reference went right out one ear and the other.
Starting off strong.
I'm glad it's Ladies' Day. I miss you,
Ladies!
Tori. Miss you.
Miss you too.
All right, let's get to it. So did you all hear about this crazy plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan? Well, the FBI stopped it, thank goodness, but 13 men were arrested. They were all members of 2 militia groups who were allegedly preparing to kidnap and possibly kill Governor Gretchen Whitmer and even bring bombs to the Capitol to spark a civil war. Terrifying. So do you remember back in April when a large group of armed men stormed the Michigan Capitol? Well, as you can see there, 2 of the suspects were seen in photos from that day. Well, here's what the governor told GMA.
This was a very serious, thought out plot to kill police officers, to bomb our Capitol, killing press and Democrats and Republicans alike, and to kidnap and ultimately put me on trial and kill me as well. These are the types of things you hear from groups like ISIS. This is not a militia. It is a domestic terror organization.
Wow, and it's really important, Tori, to call it domestic terrorism, because if we can call it what it is, we can actually create solutions. And I hope and I pray be away with this. However, with the divisiveness in our political climate right now, do you think that we're going to see more of it?
We certainly will when there was no consequence, when they kind of went to the Capitol with guns and stood there and there wasn't a big uproar. I think what's interesting here is what she said. They're gangs. They're domestic terrorists. And we now know that's the #1 security threat for the United States from the Department of Homeland Security. So at some point, the names matter, the words matter. At some point, they're just guys with guns who wanted to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. We got to call it what it is. I went to University of Michigan. There's a lot of anarchist militia kind of around that area, and I was surprised to know that.
Michigan militia, that's what a lot of them call themselves.
Yeah. So not surprised it's Michigan, surprised it went this far. She was almost kidnapped and killed.
Yeah, and Erica, do you fear, I mean, back to my question, because I know that now more than ever, we have a lot of Americans that see the political divisiveness, and we talk about it on this show, and I know people are worried that we're going to see more of that and that there is potentially a civil war.
Yeah, I understand that fear. I've been saying this for years. I truly have always believed that there are outlying groups that truly want a civil war, want a race war, are really thrilled by the idea of there being so much chaos and divisiveness, because if you're paying attention to what's happening over here, then you're not going to pay attention to what's happening over here. But I think we all need to have our heads on a swivel. If you see something, you say something, because I've said this. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. If one of us is unsafe, we are all unsafe. That's just what it is. Like, you notice that there was no, like, we're only going after this group or that group. It's about the mass killing of all different people.
Even police officers. If your Blue Lives Matter or you believe in that, you were putting police officers and FBI at risk too.
Yeah, DBL Nation, please write in because we want to hear from you as well. So many Americans are struggling right now, especially everyone who works for the airlines or hospitality industry, and there are some new surveys just showing how bad it really is. 1 in 5 Americans, you guys, could be out of money by Election Day, less than 4 weeks from now. 52% of restaurants and bars could be forced out of business in the next 4 to 6 months in some places if restrictions are not lifted. Erica, how worried are you that we're facing a depression-level event this fall and winter, and what are you doing to prepare?
Sam, this is so disheartening because we have all of these debates happening. Obviously, we're in a very strong political climate going into the election. And I think that we are really dropping the ball on what is the most imminent threat at this point for families all over this country. And that's the idea that they don't know necessarily if they'll have a place to live or if they'll have food to eat. Like, the idea that 53% of restaurants could be closed by the time of the election, like, then what happens to those buildings? What happened to those neighborhoods? What happens to the people who made their living on that? Like, this is a national crisis.
And a domino effect. Totally. And I don't know if you guys agree with me, and let me know, but I do feel like not just the government, but a lot of people in America are just doing this. La, 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 la. It's not going to happen. Like, if I don't talk about it or think about it, in 6 months, it'll all go away. It's not. We're going to crash. If you don't remember 1929, 1930, people were eating, I mean, like, leather. It was so bad. I'm not saying we're going there. I'm simply saying we can't do this and pretend it's not going to happen, because 1 in 5,
yeah,
that
you need to
shocked
face it
me.
head on.
Head on.
Yeah, very scary though. Okay, so DBL Nation, we want your opinion on this next story, okay? This woman, and I'm going to read your comments, so please start writing in. This woman was not allowed on a Southwest Airlines flight because the airline said her top was lewd, obscene, and offensive. Now, the woman recorded what happened to her, including when the pilot tried to help. Take a look.
They're hating on you because you're looking good. Is that right?
I don't take this lightly at all. I would like to get on my plane.
If they have it in their book, or where they want you to cover up, are you willing to do that?
I want to see it because I'm not. Right now, I was just giving police my body.
Wow. The pilot ended up giving her a large T-shirt, which she did end up wearing on the flight. So Southwest said they promote a, quote, family-centric environment, and they leave it up to passengers to use good judgment and exercise discretion. Now, they did apologize to the woman, and they did refund her flight, but she insists it's not right to tell her what to wear because of the way that she is shaped. So this is where we want to hear from you, DBL Nation. We want to know what you think. Was this outfit appropriate to wear on a flight, in your opinion? Go ahead and vote at dblvote.com to weigh in, and then I'm going to read comments too. But Tori, how do you feel?
First of all, I just think this always happens to a curvy black person. Let's just call that out. It constantly seems to happen. If a large white man had a tank top on that was spaghetti straps and you could see part of his pectorals, would he get kicked off a flight? Second, though, I understand that that might be a little uncomfortable or offensive to some people. Modesty is important, and people used to get dressed up to go travel on planes. But guess what you can do, Sam? You can turn your head and not look. There's no reason to kick someone off, to make them feel so undignified, and to make them feel like they're being policed, I think.
Erica, do you agree or disagree with Tori?
I think the young woman was putting her best fashion foot forward, and it certainly, if I could rock it, I may rock that same outfit. Let's just be really clear about what this is, especially as someone who has been in an airport lately. There are so many things that need to be worried about in terms of social distancing that is not happening in a lot of situations. People covering their faces with masks, making sure that the plane is sanitized and disinfected. What one woman chooses to wear is her prerogative to do so, especially given the fact that the airline refunded her ticket. That means that they never came forward with anything to say that what this gate attendant was saying was the truth. So if it wasn't a part of the policy, then you're just deciding to make a mountain out of a molehill, essentially, because this woman at least had clothes on. All of her parts were covered. I don't see what the big deal is.
Well, you two are in the minority. Because if you look at the vote right now, Erica, 76% of our viewers say no. Let me really quickly, before we leave for break, give you some comments from DBL Nation. Charmaine says it comes down to generations. Older people will be more offended than younger people. Dina says, I'm all for body positivity, but not everything is fat shaming. Sometimes it's just decency. Abigail says, I don't think it's asking too much to put on a shirt. And Viviana says, the only reason I'd want her to cover up is so that my husband doesn't get a heart attack. I just want him to take note that those are all women that made those 4 comments. And I find that very interesting.
Sam.
All right, Erica, stick around. Coming up on DBL, 2 big names in children's entertainment, Barbie and Sesame Street. They are tackling racism while starting the discussion at a young age age make a difference later in life? Plus, why is a healthcare CEO from Texas suing Brad Pitt? Wait till you hear the crazy details. Welcome back to DBL. There's so much going on in the world right now, and for parents or grandparents, it often means trying to explain complicated issues like racism to little kids. But now some well-known kids brands are trying to help. Sesame Street will air a half-hour anti-racism special called The Power of We, with the message that racism hurts and it is wrong. It'll feature skits and songs in a Zoom-like format and streams later this month on HBO Max. Now, that's not the only one. In fact, Barbie is sitting down to have a tough conversation about racism with her friend Nikki. Check out this clip from her latest vlog.
Barbie and I had a sticker selling contest on the beach last month. We split up and went different directions to see who could sell the most. Well, while I was on the boardwalk, beach security stopped me 3 times. What? They asked me all these questions over and over, and they even called my mom. I never told you, but that's why I sold a few stickers that day. The security officers thought I was doing something bad, even though I was doing exactly what you were doing. Usually when I talk about these things, people make excuses. People did these things to me because I was black, and they made the wrong assumptions about me.
And they don't make those assumptions about white people like me.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I say that in a good way as a parent. Erica, would you show these to your nieces, nephews, to your kids one day? How do you feel about brands trying to teach kids these topics? Do you believe it'll help?
I do believe that it'll help, because I think especially as children, when you experience different things that are racially charged or insensitive, it's very difficult for you to process. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade, I was in Girl Scouts, and I was one of 2 black girls in a troop of about 20 to 25 girls. And we were all out at a park, and we had taken the sticks, like we burned the sticks in the fire, and we did like the, you know, EC heart, you know, type thing that kids do on the pavement with the soot. And one of the scout leaders said to me, although there were a few other girls around, like she accused me of vandalism and graffitiing and said that we don't do that here. But she didn't address any of the other girls who I was with. And it's very difficult to process why you're being called out or singled out in that moment. And also for the other girls to understand that, like, I didn't do anything worse than what they did, and they should have had equal reprimand, but they didn't. So I think it is important to meet kids where they are to explain what's happening in that moment.
Yeah, Erica, I think there needs to be training, whether it's, I hope it's not, you know, conscious, because, I mean, that's a whole nother situation when it comes to hiring specific teachers. But training, perhaps it being a bias, just like we see with nurses in the medical field, on how there is a mistreatment of patients that are of color. But then going back to your point, I just recently read the statistic that I believe young children of color are disciplined in school, doing the same thing, whether they're getting up to go sharpen their pencil when they're not supposed to, or talking while the teacher is speaking, that they get disciplined almost 3 times more than children who are non-black.
Wow.
So
good for Barbie.
I know.
Different Barbie than when I grew up with. I didn't know she had a vlog, but also, like, way to be honest and say it's because I was black. I was pretty taken by that,
Yeah,
and I
me
love
too.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, and I want Sophie to watch this.
Yeah, of course she should.
I really do. You know, luckily there's a lot of really cool cartoons nowadays. They don't tackle specifically racism, and I'm loving that this does, but at least I see her watching like very diverse characters, and I really am appreciative of that. But hey, they did not mince words here.
No, Barbie went there.
And we can't when it comes to racism. So let's hopefully teach our future generation to be much more inclusive. Okay, Erica, don't go away. Coming up, brand new charges, that's right, have been filed in Megan Thee Stallion's shooting case. We'll tell you who faces up to 22 years in prison. And next, love after lockup. Relationship advisor Dr. Ish, why are people marrying inmates? And is dating criminals worth all that trouble? Welcome back to DBL. Reality TV can be a guilty pleasure now more than ever. Earlier, Al sat down with celebrity dating expert Dr. Ish Major to talk about one of his favorites, love after lockup.
I'm a convict. I could go back to prison.
Now, before we get to our shared guilty pleasure of love after lockup, tell me, because me and my girl, we watch the show all the time, we do ask this question: why do people fall in love with men and women who end up in prison and who have a criminal record?
Oh, Al, come on, man. It's the ultimate bad boy, bad girl fantasy, right? Can I get them? Can I cage them? Can I control them? Can I do the thing that nobody else could? Yeah, I know they have lied to other people. I know they've cheated and tricked other people. But if they don't do it to me, then that makes me special.
Makes sense. Now, can you explain how sex and intimacy plays a distinct role in these relationships with former inmates?
Well, it does, right? Because there's this thing that physically, logistically, we can't really do it. right? We've got our visitation days, but otherwise that tension builds, right? So there's that anticipation. There's like, sometimes, Al, the kiss that you have in your mind is 10 times more powerful than the kiss you actually have in real life, right? That imagination plays wonders when it comes to that. So there's that anticipation in moving on. Now, the other thing that they also do well is they talk about needs and more. They make it very clear why I need you and why I want you here with me.
Man, that first of all, this is why we love having you on the show. You keep it real. So I'm going to ask you this question. Is it possible in your mind to have a healthy relationship with someone that has a history of being in trouble with the law?
And we all deserve second chances, right? We can be rehabilitated to life, and so that is no different, right? And so, but the key here is, right, life outside is very different from life inside, and so they didn't go in because they did life well. So you got to be very patient and give them the space to grow into that person you need to be. Because out here, there's always that undercurrent is, hey, you know what? I stayed with you while you were in there. I held you down. I kept money on your commissary card, and now you owe me big time.
There's always that dynamic. There's always that dynamic. And you can tell when they get out, they want to go party, and the people they've been talking to are like, hey, let's sit on the couch. And they're like, I've been in jail for 3 years. I'm about to go kick it for a couple hours. As the relationship advisor for Love After Lockup, what challenges are the couples facing now that it's back?
There's life skills that have to be learned. There's like you said, I've been locked up for years. I just kind of want to go kick it for a couple of hours. Do we have to get married today? We got one couple, John and Christiana, they literally got married the day they met. He put a chapel up in the back of his pickup truck.
She said yes, but Christiana does not know that the big day is upon us and that right now we are heading to my mobile wedding chapel in the back of my truck.
And they got it done.
Me and my girl laughed at that episode for so long just because, I don't know if you remember the guy that set the chapel up when she was late getting to the halfway house. She goes, how much time is it going to take? He goes, we're going to be 30 minutes late if we do 85. I will never forget that. So this show has given me so much. I love this show, and I love that you're the relationship advisor because you are going to keep it real on what I consider the most real reality show on TV. Thank you, Dr. Ish, for joining us on DBL. Check out the return of Love After Lockup tonight on WeTV. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Attention. An important
All right, so welcome back. More comments about the women on the planes. We got Linda. She says, I am sorry, not appropriate. That looks like a bra or bathing suit top. And Charles says she looks great. What would you say to that, Tori?
I would
the
just
first
say
comment.
The very first comment, if you saw someone probably without as much breasts and skinnier and she wore a halter top and a mid-crop, I'm not sure you would feel the exact same way. Was it because she was curvy?
I think so. I really do.
But I do hear that modesty is important to many people. I don't want to offend that, but
of course.
Let's be fair.
All right, thank you, Tori.
Yeah.
Here's what's coming up on DBL. A rapper is facing charges for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion. And why is a woman suing Brad Pitt? DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with my girl Tor. Oh, lean back. And lean back.
And lean back. I was trying to look casual, so I went like this. That's not a good look for anyone.
Erica joining us remotely. Erica.
Sorry, Erica.
How are you?
I'm wonderful and almost as giddy as you guys are.
Okay, good. Well, it is Friday. All right, so the top of the trending stories today, Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, well, is facing felony charges in connection with the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion back in July. So Megan has been vocal about the incident. We've talked about it right here on DBL, where she was shot in the foot. She also named Tory as the alleged shooter on social media in August. Tory was hit with 1 count of assault and 1 count of carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm. So if convicted, he does face a maximum sentence of 22 years in prison. Erica, why do you think it took this long for an arrest? And what do you think should happen to Tory?
You know, I can't tell you why it took so long to make an arrest. I do understand that Megan was very vocal about the fact that she wasn't forthcoming about exactly what happened during the night of the incident, because she was very wary of the idea of there being a car full of black people at a time that, you know, tensions are very high racially between black people and the police, like more openly than normal. And she didn't want to jeopardize everyone's life by saying saying that they had a loaded weapon in the vehicle. Then she went on to not say very much on social media at all. It wasn't until Tory's people allegedly put out all of these stories basically calling Megan a liar and saying that these things never existed. Then Tory goes on to release an album which not only calls Megan a liar, but also says that, you know, they dated, which they publicly have never acknowledged. So it seems as though Tory Lanez and his people have really been trying very hard to get in front of this, to construct this narrative. So if he has so much to say, I just say, tell it all to the judge, because it's about time that this arrest was made.
A lot of people are saying it also reflects, Erica, the SNL musical guest, which was Megan Thee Stallion. Remember, she was shot in both feet. There's video of it, blood coming out of her foot. If they were together, you question if this is some kind of domestic violence issue, actually. And when she stopped, and you heard Malcolm X say, the most disrespected human on the planet is the black woman. I think there was a lot to say about what went in the car that night, about what she was feeling, along with, of course, the climate and social feeling around Black Lives Matter. But I just don't understand why it took so long. I'd love to know what the investigation was. There was video. There was video of her getting out of the car with blood coming out of her heels. I'd love to know what it was, and I'd love for him to get what he deserves if he is convicted.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so things took an ugly turn during a family trip on Keeping Up with the Kardashians last night. Kendall and Kylie Jenner appeared to get into a brawl while vacationing in Palm Springs. The fight happened off camera and seemed to start when Kylie borrowed an outfit from Kourtney that Kendall had planned on wearing. Are you following me? Have a look.
What are they yelling about? It's an emergency. Go get Kendall.
I'm dead sober. I wouldn't make up. And she smacked me, not she like smacked me or something. And so I came back at her and smacked her in the face. And then she took her heel and put it into my neck. Why? So then I started kicking her back. No, we got in a full fight. The fact that my sister, my blood, was reacting that way, it's so upsetting.
Whoa.
Look at Erica.
Now listen, I had some pretty big fights with my sisters over outfits and clothes and perfume and
Did you stick a stiletto in her neck?
But we were like 12, 13, 14, 15. These girls are full-blown adults in their 20s, Erica. What do you make of this?
I think it's interesting that it comes on the heels of this epic fight on Real Housewives of Potomac, because there was a lot being said about what it does to the image of women, specifically black women in this instance, when you see these public displays of violence. But we don't acknowledge that you have shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where this isn't the first time that these two are siblings, that sisters have violently attacked each other. And this just seems completely asinine that we would just say this is entertainment, because it's not. First of all, that's your blood, right? And you're violently attacking each other over an outfit when you're worth $1 billion. Girl, get another outfit. Yeah. I don't think that this is cute at all, and I really don't understand why anybody would allow themselves to be seen in this type of light. Fighting amongst your sister? Like, nah.
And there's
no.
I agree. There's a reason, too, we never saw it on camera. I wonder if, remember, Chris gets editing a credit, and she can cut that out. We never saw the actual brawl, and I wonder if they just thought this is too much to show. Remember, Kourtney and Khloe got in a terrible one, and there was, like, fighting, and I was just like, what's going on? Yeah, I think it's time for the show to maybe sail off into that Kardashian sunset.
Tori is very animated today. Did you notice she did this for editing?
And then the sunset.
Very Full House-esque. And then you did this move
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Okay. Wow. Thank goodness it's Friday, folks. A woman is suing Brad Pitt for $100,000, claiming he ripped her off.
Oh, God.
So here's what happened, okay? The woman says she paid Brad $40,000 to appear at events she was organizing for his charity, but then Brad never showed up. So the woman, who's a healthcare CEO in Texas, by the way, there she is, also claims she and Brad developed such a close online connection that he even brought up marriage. Well, the problem is, you guys, he was a scammer.
No.
Pretending to be the actor the entire time, but she's still suing the real Brad. His lawyers filed a countersuit saying, yeah, Brad never had any dealings with her, so the court should dismiss the case. That's coming from Brad's camp.
Oh, dear.
Erica Cobb. I mean, we heard a lot of grunts and ohs and ahs from Tori, and we'll get to her, but Erica, you got like a stank face going on. What's happening?
This is embarrassing.
I know, it's uncomfortable.
I mean, it's bad enough that she was scammed. Like, I would feel bad for her because it's already embarrassing, but for her to go after the real Brad Pitt for damages, like, girl, just take your L. Had she come forward with the story, knowing, like, I mean, not that I know Brad Pitt, but he seems like a guy who wants to make things right. He may have just given her the $40,000, but to put him in this whole lawsuit based on her ignorance, and actually, this isn't even ignorance, this is narcissism, okay? You're having a communication with Brad Pitt, and you're talking marriage. You want to believe that this is true so much that you let all logic just go out the window. No, that's an L. You're just going to have to eat that 40.
Yeah, take the L.
Can you imagine this whole time she thought she was about to marry Brad Pitt?
She's like, he's talking marriage.
Yeah.
He's talking marriage.
How many of her friends at coffee was she like, yeah, Brad and I might be getting married soon?
We have to talk about it, but he did bring it up. You guys also know that in a lawsuit, you need something in Latin called mens rea, which means you need a reason to sue. Brad Pitt did nothing in this. There's no reason to sue the actual Brad Pitt.
I feel like
you can't have a court case.
You know why I think she did it? Here's my conspiracy really quickly. The reason why I believe she's suing him is because she, for so long, believed she was going to be with the real Brad Pitt.
Wow.
She's having trouble letting go of that reality that Brad is no longer officially in her life. So this is her way to still keep him in. I know, Erica. I know. Erica, that chair is swallowing you.
Look at that
gorgeous
throne.
I know.
Is it wicker? It's gorgeous.
It is. It's gorgeous. Okay. So a new study. Now, both of you have dogs. So do I. So you really need to listen up to this one. Listen up to this. Does that make sense?
Not at all.
Listen up
to this.
To this?
Not at all. But I liked it.
Okay. Listen up. A new study suggests that our dogs don't like looking at our faces. The study in the Journal of Neuroscience found that dogs aren't wired to focus on human faces, but their brains do perk up when they see another dog. Dogs notice our faces, but they use other information such as body language and our voice to tell what we're up to. In fact, they saw that, like, when a dog looks at the back of your head and then your face, it's the same reaction.
Really?
So you can literally be like backwards talking to your dog and they won't care. They won't care. So Erica, first let's look at a little picture of you and Spike. Has this ever happened to you and Spike where Spike doesn't care to look at you right there at all?
Yeah, so Spike, actually, we have a rule that people can't put their faces in his face.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if Tori wants to get into this one, but he doesn't like faces in his face.
That's okay.
And you know what? I was too forward with Spike. I came on real strong with Spike.
So you started the rule?
Yeah.
And
Spike told me in a very
ruined it for everybody because he doesn't like your face.
My self-esteem just went to here.
You ruined it for me.
Even Spike.
I want Spike kisses.
You know what, though?
Let's see a picture of you and your dogs, because I don't think they look at you either.
No.
Nope.
So this is right after Josie Rose got her gallbladder removed and almost died. And I was so grateful, but now I'm thinking she's just looking up at this guy.
Beautiful photo of you. You should frame that. You look stunning.
Do I?
Yeah, you look like an Abercrombie model.
Oh!
You do.
God, I love that.
And then the producers are telling me they have one of me and Baby.
Yes.
Why do you guys always show that photo? That photo.
I've seen that 1 million times.
The most posed.
I love that photo.
In my leopard pajamas.
Always in her onesie. Look at that one Catwoman thing you were wearing.
Well, was Baby looking at me? Or no? No.
No, not at all.
Baby doesn't care about me either. Oh, Baby.
We love you, Baby.
I know. 17 and some change.
She's doing fantastic.
She really is.
She really
Coming up on DBL, we'll show you the best parallel parker of all time.
It's me.
It's not Tori. You got to stick around. And next, meet a surrogate mother faced with a decision she never thought she'd have to make. To raise the baby she was supposed to give away. Can you imagine? It's an incredible story. Next.
Closed captioning provided.
Welcome back to DBL. So last year, a woman in Idaho agreed to be a surrogate mom for a couple in China, but then the pandemic hit. So this is Emily Crislip and her family. She's the surrogate mom and has raised the infant for the past 4 months because the biological parents are unable to bring their daughter home. Earlier, Emily shared this emotional experience in our DBL Spotlight. And a note to our viewers, we are not showing the baby's face or saying her name out of respect to her family. Joining us now is Emily Crislip from Idaho. Emily, I'm speechless. Like, first of all, your selflessness, this story, tragic on so many levels, but your selflessness is definitely the silver lining. So first and foremost, thank you for talking to us here at DBL.
Yeah.
So walk us through what was going through your mind the first time that you realized that the parents of the baby that you have been carrying for months would not make it for the birth.
At first, I was a little nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then, I figured if the parents want us to, take care of her, then they would bring up that conversation, and they ended up doing that. So after that, reality kind of hit, and, a lot of conversations were had, and we just kind of rolled with it.
Wow. Okay, so I imagine that this was an extremely hard decision because you're a mom of a 2.5-year-old. I'm a mom of a 3-year-old. Just even having, my second child, it's so hard balancing the two. And then here you are. What was it that made you say yes to doing this?
We just thought it was the right thing to do. It was either us or a nanny agency, and we just tried to put ourselves in the parents' position and, if that was us, what would we want? And so we just kind of based it on that, and we just didn't feel comfortable not being able to give her directly to her parents.
Aw, Emily, you're amazing. You really are.
Thank
This
you.
child is so lucky to have you. These parents are so lucky to have you. So how are her parents handling this, and do you talk to them a lot?
We text basically all throughout the week. We try to do a video chat on the weekends. They seem to be handling it okay. They're not really showing any kind of specific emotion. They obviously get really excited when they get to see her on the video chat, but they seem to be handling it pretty well.
Wow, I can't even imagine being the parents. I can't imagine being you. This is just such a difficult situation. But again, I'm just so lucky that child is so lucky to have all of you involved. So how do you not let yourself get too attached to the baby, considering that, you are going to have to give that child to her parents?
It is difficult at times, and sometimes I catch myself okay, take it down a notch. But it's really just keeping that strong mentality of it.
Right. And after all you've gone through, do you want to keep a relationship with the child and her family after she goes home?
I'd love to. I'd love to be able to watch her grow up and see pictures of her. But ultimately, it's the parents' decision on what they want to do.
Wow. You're amazing. Okay, so no one goes into surrogacy with a plan to raise the child, but why did you decide to become a surrogate mom? And after everything you've gone through, would you do this again?
So my husband and I watched family and friends struggle with trying to get pregnant, and we were very lucky to not have to really struggle for that. We were pretty blessed, and so we decided to look into it, especially because my pregnancy and delivery was very easy and there was no complications. And to do it again, I don't know. The way that the world is right now, I don't know if I would do it again right now. If this specific couple would come back and say, we want to use one of our other embryos and we want you to carry the baby, I would consider it for them.
Wow, we need more Emilys in the world, and we are hoping that she can be reunited with her family soon. Thank you for sharing your incredible story with us, Emily. We really appreciate you. I appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. So would you travel with a perfect stranger during the pandemic if your friends bailed on you? We're going to chat about it in today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. So get this. Josiah Burton and Therese Roca were total strangers who both had international travel plans, but their friends canceled on them because of COVID. So Josiah asked a Facebook travel group if anyone would be visiting Turkey when he was. Therese answered, well, the rest is history. Look at that photo. They got to know each other, they shared their itineraries, and now their story has gone viral. So when it comes to traveling, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. Whoa, I love that their story ended so well, but this makes me nervous.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this. I think it's great, but I'd be very nervous.
What if, like, you really took the time to vet them? Like, she apparently really took the time to understand who he was and feel comfortable with meeting up with him.
Okay, I wouldn't do this, but these spontaneous travelers might, and I'm glad she vetted. Just be careful out there, people.
Yeah. Erica, would you ever do something like this if you vetted them and took the time?
No.
She's like,
y'all know me better than that.
Yeah, what the heck?
I know, and I actually like being alone.
Yeah, would you do this?
No, because I love to be, people think that I'm like very, you know, social and chatty Cathy. When I leave this table, I don't say very many words unless it's to my kids.
Yeah, you
and I have no problem traveling by myself.
Have you traveled by yourself?
No, but I guess in my swimming days, that's all I did was traveled by myself as a swimmer.
Wow.
But no, all my recent travel's been with my husband, and he's the chatty Cathy. Let me tell you, boy, don't sit by a pool with Mark. Gosh, you'll get to know the friends over the people over here, the people over there, this person, that person.
Oh, those are called pool friends.
Pool friends.
Pool friends. Then it ends at the elevator. Everybody knows the pool friends.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, otherwise it's awkward, right, Erica? Because then, like, they're like, so are we meeting up later, or what are we gonna? No,
we're not meeting. Nope. No, our relationship only exists at the pool.
This is over. This is over. That's the rule.
I love it. I got to tell Mark that there's a boundary. Okay, the elevator is the boundary. Got it. Coming up on DBL, the best parallel parker around, and it ain't Tori
Yeah,
Shulman.
it is.
Nope. She's crashed into many vehicles while parallel parking. You won't believe what this guy can do. Next.
Promotion.
Welcome back to DBL. There we are. Before we go, you've got to see this Guinness World Record for parallel parking. It's bonkers. This stuntman performs the tightest ever parallel park in reverse, no less. He whips the car into the spot going full speed and leaves less than 14 inches between his car and the other two. Wow, Tori, you are not even close to this person.
What do you mean, Sam?
Erica, I feel like you're a really good parallel parker.
Well, I did beat Jeff when we had our parallel parking contest because it was the Battle of Chicagoans. That's a must. You need to know how to parallel park.
I think we have footage, don't we? Or do we not have it of this? Okay, so this is us. Sam, this was you and me.
I overshot it, guys. I'd rather do a many point.
She did a nice job.
Like a bug in a rug.
Like a bug in a rug.
It's pretty darn good, Tori.
And then watch what happens when I try.
And bang. Yeah, we're gonna leave you with that, folks. Yes, we are. Before we go, I wanna give a shout out right now. My little Sophie is watching us with her cousins, Mia and Jackson. We love you, Mia, Jackson, and Sophie. Be good over there. I'll see you soon. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Thank you, Erica. Have a great weekend, everybody. Woohoo!
Inside the plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Who were the 13 men charged? How was their plan foiled? And were they trying to incite a civil war? A woman is nearly removed from a flight because her low-cut top. Do you think her outfit is obscene? Plus, what the pilot did to keep her from being kicked off. Sesame Street and Barbie are trying to teach children about racism.
If we all work together, we can make a big difference.
How are these kids shows handling this difficult topic? And Love After Lockup's Dr. Ish. Why are people marrying inmates? And is dating criminals worth all the trouble?
And we all deserve second chances, right?
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, October 9th. I'm Sam here with Tori. I barely made it up here. I'm a little out of breath.
You did good.
The Denver altitude does not help.
It's been 3 years.
Yep, I have a little gap right here because we're working on a safety pin situation.
Tell it like it is.
I just want to announce it before other people start writing in that I have a hole right here. It's all good, people. It's Friday, thank God. Erica joining us remotely. Hey, E, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Happy Friday.
Yes. We need that. Totally. We need that. Yes, we do.
And I love your fireplace again. She looks like she's in a Game of Thrones cave. Good for you. It's unbelievable.
Erica doesn't watch Game of Thrones, and either do I. So that reference went right out one ear and the other.
Starting off strong.
I'm glad it's Ladies' Day. I miss you,
Ladies!
Tori. Miss you.
Miss you too.
All right, let's get to it. So did you all hear about this crazy plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan? Well, the FBI stopped it, thank goodness, but 13 men were arrested. They were all members of 2 militia groups who were allegedly preparing to kidnap and possibly kill Governor Gretchen Whitmer and even bring bombs to the Capitol to spark a civil war. Terrifying. So do you remember back in April when a large group of armed men stormed the Michigan Capitol? Well, as you can see there, 2 of the suspects were seen in photos from that day. Well, here's what the governor told GMA.
This was a very serious, thought out plot to kill police officers, to bomb our Capitol, killing press and Democrats and Republicans alike, and to kidnap and ultimately put me on trial and kill me as well. These are the types of things you hear from groups like ISIS. This is not a militia. It is a domestic terror organization.
Wow, and it's really important, Tori, to call it domestic terrorism, because if we can call it what it is, we can actually create solutions. And I hope and I pray be away with this. However, with the divisiveness in our political climate right now, do you think that we're going to see more of it?
We certainly will when there was no consequence when they kind of went to the Capitol with guns and stood there and there wasn't a big uproar. I think what's interesting here is what she said. They're gangs. They're domestic terrorists. And we now know that's the #1 security threat for the United States from the Department of Homeland Security. So at some point, the names matter, the words matter. At some point, they're just guys with guns who wanted to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. We got to call it what it is. I went to University of Michigan. There's a lot of anarchist militia kind of around that area, and I was surprised to know that.
Michigan militia, that's what a lot of them call themselves.
Yeah. So not surprised it's Michigan, surprised it went this far. She was almost kidnapped and killed.
Yeah, and Erica, do you fear, I mean, back to my question, because I know that now more than ever, we have a lot of Americans that see the political divisiveness, and we talk about it on this show, and I know people are worried that we're going to see more of that and that there is potentially a civil war.
Yeah, I understand that fear. I've been saying this for years. I truly have always believed that there are outlying groups that truly want a civil war, want a race war, are really thrilled by the idea of there being so much chaos and divisiveness, because if you're paying attention to what's happening over here, then you're not going to pay attention to what's happening over here. But I think we all need to have our heads on a swivel. If you see something, you say something, because I've said this. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. If one of us is unsafe, we are all unsafe. That's just what it is. Like, you notice that there was no, like, we're only going after this group or that group. It's about the mass killing of all different people.
Even police officers. If your Blue Lives Matter or you believe in that, you were putting police officers and FBI at risk too.
Yeah, DBL Nation, please write in because we want to hear from you as well. So many Americans are struggling right now, especially everyone who works for the airlines or hospitality industry, and there are some new surveys just showing how bad it really is. 1 in 5 Americans, you guys, could be out of money by Election Day, less than 4 weeks from now. 52% of restaurants and bars could be forced out of business in the next 4 to 6 months in some places if restrictions are not lifted. Erica, how worried are you that we're facing a depression-level event this fall and winter, and what are you doing to prepare?
Sam, this is so disheartening because we have all of these debates happening. Obviously, we're in a very strong political climate going into the election. And I think that we are really dropping the ball on what is the most imminent threat at this point for families all over this country. And that's the idea that they don't know necessarily if they'll have a place to live or if they'll have food to eat. Like, the idea that 53% of restaurants could be closed by the time of the election, like, then what happens to those buildings? What happened to those neighborhoods? What happens to the people who made their living on that? Like, this is a national crisis.
And a domino effect.
Totally, and I don't know if you guys agree with me and let me know, but I do feel like not just the government, but a lot of people in America are just doing this. La, 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 la. It's not gonna happen. Like, if I don't talk about it or think about it, in 6 months, it'll all go away. It's not. We're gonna crash. If you don't remember 1929, 1930, people were eating, I mean, like leather. It was so bad. I'm not saying we're going there. I'm simply saying we can't do this and pretend it's not going to happen. Because at 1 in 5,
yeah,
that
you need to
shocked
face it
me.
head on.
Head on.
Yeah, very scary though. Okay, so DBL Nation, we want your opinion on this next story, okay? This woman, and I'm going to read your comments, so please start writing in. This woman was not allowed on a Southwest Airlines flight because the airline said her top was lewd, obscene, and offensive. Now, the woman recorded what happened to her, including when the pilot tried to help. Take a look.
They're hating on you because you're looking good. Is that right?
I don't take this lightly at all. I would like to get on my plane.
If they have it in their book, or where they want you to cover up, are you willing to do that?
I want to see it because
Sure.
I'm not. Right now, I was just giving police my body.
Wow. The pilot ended up giving her a large T-shirt, which she did end up wearing on the flight. So Southwest said they promote a, quote, family-centric environment, and they leave it up to passengers to use good judgment and exercise discretion. Now, they did apologize to the woman, and they did refund her flight, but she insists it's not right to tell her what to wear because of the way that she is shaped. So this is where we want to hear from you, DBL Nation. We want to know what you think. Was this outfit appropriate to wear on a flight, in your opinion? Go ahead and vote at dblvote.com to weigh in, and then I'm going to read comments too. But Tori, how do you feel?
First of all, I just think this always happens to a curvy black person. Let's just call that out. It constantly seems to happen. If a large white man had a tank top on that was spaghetti straps and you could see part of his pectorals, would he get kicked off a flight? Second, though, I understand that that might be a little uncomfortable or offensive to some people. Modesty is important, and people used to get dressed up to go travel on planes. But guess what you can do, Sam? You can turn your head and not look. There's no reason to kick someone off, to make them feel so undignified, and to make them feel like they're being policed, I think.
Erica, do you agree or disagree with Tori?
I think the young woman was putting her best fashion foot forward, and it certainly, if I could rock it, I may rock that same outfit. Let's just be really clear about what this is, especially as someone who has been in an airport lately. There are so many things that need to be worried about in terms of social distancing that is not happening in a lot of situations. People covering their covering their faces with masks, making sure that the plane is sanitized and disinfected. What one woman chooses to wear is her prerogative to do so, especially given the fact that the airline refunded her ticket. That means that they never came forward with anything to say that what this gate attendant was saying was the truth. So if it wasn't a part of the policy, then you're just deciding to make a mountain out of a molehill, essentially, because this woman at least had clothes on. All of her parts were covered. I don't see what the big deal is.
Well, you two are in the minority.
I know.
Because if you look at the vote right now, Erica, 76% of our viewers say no. Let me really quickly, before we leave for break, give you some comments from DBL Nation. Charmaine says it comes down to generations. Older people will be more offended than younger people. Dina says, I'm all for body positivity, but not everything is fat shaming. Sometimes it's just decency. Abigail says, I don't think it's asking too much to put on a shirt. And Viviana says, the only reason I'd want her to cover up is so that my husband doesn't get a heart attack. I just want him to take note that those are all women that made those 4 comments. And I find that very interesting.
Sam.
All right, Erica, stick around. Coming up on DBL, 2 big names in children's entertainment, Barbie and Sesame Street. They are tackling racism. Will starting the discussion at a young age make a difference later in life? Plus, why is a healthcare CEO from Texas suing Brad Pitt? Wait till you hear the crazy details. Welcome back to DBL. There's so much going on in the world right now, and for parents or grandparents, it often means trying to explain complicated issues like racism to little kids. But now some well-known kids brands are trying to help. Sesame Street will air a half-hour anti-racism special called The Power of We, with the message that racism hurts and it is wrong. It'll feature skits and songs in a Zoom-like format and streams later this month on HBO Max. Now, that's not the only one. In fact, Barbie is sitting down to have a tough conversation about racism with her friend Nikki. Check out this clip from her latest vlog.
Barbie and I had a sticker selling contest on the beach last month. We split up and went different directions to see who could sell the most. Well, while I was on the boardwalk, beach security stopped me 3 times.
What?
They asked me all these questions over and over, and they even called my mom. I never told you, but that's why I sold a few stickers that day. The security officers thought I was doing something bad, even though I was doing exactly what you were doing. Usually, when I talk about these things, people make excuses. People did these things to me because I was black, and they made the wrong assumptions about me.
And they don't make those assumptions about white people like me.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I say that in a good way as a parent. Erica, would you show these to your nieces, nephews, to your kids one day? How do you feel about brands trying to teach kids these topics? Do you believe it'll help?
I do believe that it'll help, because I think especially as children, when you experience different things that are racially charged or insensitive, it's very difficult for you to process. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade, I was in Girl Scouts, and I was one of 2 black girls in a troop of about 20 to 25 girls. And we were all out at a park, and we had taken the sticks, like we burned the sticks in the fire, and we did like the, you know, EC heart, you know, type thing that kids do on the pavement with the soot. And one of the scout leaders said to me, although there were a few other girls around, like she accused me of vandalism and graffitiing and said that we don't do that here. But she didn't address any of the other girls who I was with. And it's very difficult to process why you're being called out or singled out in that moment. And also for the other girls to understand that, like, I didn't do anything worse than what they did, and they should have had equal reprimand, but they didn't. So I think it is important to meet kids where they are to explain what's happening in that moment.
Yeah, Erica, I think there needs to be training, whether it's, I hope it's not, you know, conscious, because, I mean, that's a whole nother situation when it comes to hiring specific teachers. But training, perhaps it being a bias, just like we see with nurses in the medical field, on how there is a mistreatment of patients that are of color. But then going back to your point, I just recently read the statistic that I believe young children of color are disciplined in school, doing the same thing, whether they're getting up to go sharpen their pencil when they're not supposed to, or talking while the teacher is speaking, that they get disciplined almost 3 times more than children who are non-black.
Wow.
So
good for Barbie.
I know.
Different Barbie than when I grew up with. I didn't know she had a vlog, but also, like, way to be honest and say it's because I was black. I was pretty taken by that,
Yeah,
and I
me
love
too.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, and I want Sophie to watch this.
Yeah, of course she
I
should.
really do. You know, luckily there's a lot of really cool cartoons nowadays. They don't tackle specifically racism, and I'm loving that this does, but at least I see her watching like very diverse characters, and I really am appreciative of that. But hey, they did not mince words here.
No, Barbie went there.
And we can't when it comes to racism. So let's hopefully teach our future generation to be much more inclusive. Okay, Erica, don't go away. Coming up, brand new charges, that's right, have been filed in Megan Thee Stallion's shooting case. We'll tell you who faces up to 22 years in prison. And next, love after lockup. Relationship advisor Dr. Ish, why are people marrying inmates? And is dating criminals worth all that trouble? Welcome back to DBL. Reality TV can be a guilty pleasure now more than ever. Earlier, Al sat down with celebrity dating expert Dr. Ish Major to talk about one of his favorites, Love After Lockup.
I'm a convict. I could go back to prison.
Now, before we get to our shared guilty pleasure of Love After Lockup, tell me, because me and my girl, we watch the show all the time, we do ask this question: why do people fall in love with men and women who end up in prison and who have a criminal record?
Oh, Al, come on, man. It's the ultimate bad boy, bad girl fantasy, right? Can I get them? Can I cage them? Can I control them? Can I do the thing that nobody else could? Yeah, I know they have lied to other people. I know they've cheated and tricked other people. But if they don't do it to me, then that makes me special.
Makes sense. Now, can you explain how sex and intimacy plays a distinct role in these relationships with former inmates?
Well, it does, right? Because there's this thing that physically, logistically, we can't really do it. Right. We've got our visitation days, but otherwise that tension builds, right? So there's that anticipation. There's like, sometimes, Al, the kiss that you have in your mind is 10 times more powerful than the kiss you actually have in real life, right? That imagination plays wonders when it comes to that. So there's that anticipation in moving on. Now, the other thing that they also do well is they talk about needs and more. They make it very clear why I need you and why I want you here with me.
Man, that first of all, this is why we love having you on the show. You keep it real. So I'm going to ask you this question. Is it possible in your mind to have a healthy relationship with someone that has a history of being in trouble with the law?
And we all deserve second chances, right? We can be rehabilitated to life, and so that is no different, right? And so, but the key here is, right, life outside is very different from life inside, and so they didn't go in because they did life well. So you got to be very patient and give them the space to grow into that person you need to be. Because Al, here, there's always that undercurrent is, hey, you know what? I stayed with you while you were in there. I held you down. I kept money on your commissary card, and now you owe me big time.
There's always that dynamic. There's always that dynamic. And you can tell when they get out, they want to go party, and the people they've been talking to are like, hey, let's sit on the couch. And they're like, I've been in jail for 3 years. I'm about to go kick it for a couple hours. As the relationship advisor for Love After Lockup, what challenges are the couples facing now that it's back?
There's life skills that have to be learned. There's like you said, I've been locked up for years. I just kind of want to go kick it for a couple of hours. Do we have to get married today? We got one couple, John and Christiana, they literally got married the day they met. He put a chapel up in the back of his pickup truck.
She said yes, but Christiana does not know that the big day is upon us and that right now we are heading to my mobile wedding chapel in the back of my truck.
And they got it done.
Me and my girl laughed at that episode for so long just because, I don't know if you remember the guy that set the chapel up when she was late getting to the halfway house. She goes, how much time is it going to take? He goes, we're going to be 30 minutes late if we do 85. I will never forget that. So this show has given me so much. I love this show, and I love that you're the relationship advisor because you are going to keep it real on what I consider the most real reality show on TV. Thank you, Dr. Ish, for joining us on DBL. Check out the return of Love After Lockup tonight on WeTV. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Attention.
About the women on the planes. We got Linda. She says, I am sorry, not appropriate. That looks like a bra or bathing suit top. And Charles says she looks great. What would you say to that, Tori?
I would just say the very first comment, if you saw someone probably without as much breasts and skinnier and she wore a halter top and a mid crop, I'm not sure you would feel the exact same way. Was it because she was curvy?
I think so. I really do.
But I do hear that modesty is important to many people. I don't want to offend that, but
of course.
Let's be fair.
All right, thank you, Tori. Here's what's coming up on DBL. A rapper is facing charges for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion. And why is a woman suing Brad Pitt? DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with my girl Tor. Oh, lean back. And lean back.
And lean back. I was trying to look casual, so I went like this. That's not a good look for anyone.
Erica joining us remotely. Erica.
Sorry, Erica.
How are you?
I'm wonderful and almost as giddy as you guys are.
Okay, good. Well, it is Friday. All right, so the top of the trending stories today, Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, well, is facing felony charges in connection with the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion back in July. So Megan has been vocal about the incident. We've talked about it right here on DBL, where she was shot in the foot. She also named Tory as the alleged shooter on social media in August. Tory was hit with 1 count of assault and 1 count of carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm. So if convicted, he does face a maximum sentence of 22 years in prison. Erica, why do you think it took this long for an arrest? And what do you think should happen to Tory?
You know, I can't tell you why it took so long to make an arrest. I do understand that Megan was very vocal about the fact that she wasn't forthcoming about exactly what happened during the night of the incident, because she was very wary of the idea of there being a car full of black people at a time that, you know, tensions are very high racially between black people and the police, like more openly than normal. And she didn't want to jeopardize everyone's life by saying
saying that they had a loaded weapon in the vehicle. Then she went on to not say very much on social media at all. It wasn't until Tory's people allegedly put out all of these stories basically calling Meghan a liar and saying that these things never existed. Then Tory goes on to release an album which not only calls Meghan a liar, but also says that, you know, they dated, which they publicly have never acknowledged. So it seems as though Tory Lanez and his people have really been trying very hard to get in front of this, to construct this narrative. So if he has so much to say, I just say, tell it all to the judge, because it's about time that this arrest was made.
A lot of people are saying it also reflects, Erica, the SNL musical guest, which was Megan Thee Stallion. Remember, she was shot in both feet. There's video of it, blood coming out of her foot. If they were together, you question if this is some kind of domestic violence issue, actually. And when she stopped, and you heard Malcolm X say, the most disrespected human on the planet is the black woman. I think there was a lot to say about what went in the car that night, about what she was feeling, along with, of course, the climate and social feeling around Black Lives Matter. But I just don't understand why it took so long. I'd love to know what the investigation was. There was video. There was video of her getting out of the car with blood coming out of her heels. I'd love to know what it was, and I'd love for him to get what he deserves if he is convicted.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so things took an ugly turn during a family trip on Keeping Up with the Kardashians last night. Kendall and Kylie Jenner appeared to get into a brawl while vacationing in Palm Springs. The fight happened off camera and seemed to start when Kylie borrowed an outfit from Kourtney that Kendall had planned on wearing. Are you following me? Have a look.
What are they yelling about? It's an emergency. Go get Kendall.
I'm dead sober. I wouldn't make up. And she smacked me. She like smacked me or something. And so I came back at her, smacked her in the face, and then she took her heel and put it into my neck. Why? So then I started kicking her back. No, we got in a full fight. The fact that my sister, my blood, was reacting that way, it's so upsetting.
Whoa.
Look at Erica.
Now listen, I had some pretty big fights with my sisters over outfits and clothes and perfume and
Did you stick
all
a
of the
stiletto
above.
in her neck?
But we were like 12, 13, 14, 15. These girls are full-blown adults in their 20s, Erica. What do you make of this?
I think it's interesting that it comes on the heels of this epic fight on Real Housewives of Potomac, because there was a lot being said about what it does to the image of women, specifically black women in this instance, when you see these public displays of violence. But we don't acknowledge that you have shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where this isn't the first time that these two are siblings, that sisters have violently attacked each other. And this just seems completely asinine that we would just say this is entertainment, because it's not. First of all, that's your blood, right? And you're violently attacking each other over an outfit when you're worth $1 billion. Girl, get another outfit. Yeah. I don't think that this is cute at all, and I really don't understand why anybody would allow themselves to be seen in this type of light. Fighting amongst your sister? Like, nah.
And there's
no.
I agree. There's a reason, too, we never saw it on camera. I wonder if, remember, Chris gets editing a credit, and she can cut that out. We never saw the actual brawl, and I wonder if they just thought this is too much to show. Remember, Kourtney and Khloe got in a terrible one, and there was, like, fighting, and I was just like, what's going on? Yeah, I think it's time for the show to maybe sail off into that Kardashian sunset.
Tori is very animated today. Did you notice she did this for editing?
And then the sunset.
Very Full House-esque. And then you did this move
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Okay. Wow. Thank goodness it's Friday, folks. A woman is suing Brad Pitt for $100,000, claiming he ripped her off.
Oh, God.
So here's what happened, okay? The woman says she paid Brad $40,000 to appear at events she was organizing for his charity. But then Brad never showed up. So the woman, who's a healthcare CEO in Texas, by the way, there she is, also claims she and Brad developed such a close online connection that he even brought up marriage. Well, the problem is, you guys, he was a scammer.
No.
Pretending to be the actor the entire time. But she's still suing the real Brad. His lawyers filed a countersuit saying, yeah, Brad never had any dealings with her, so the court should dismiss the case. That's coming from Brad's camp.
Oh,
Erica Cobb. I mean, we heard a lot of grunts and ohs and ahs from Tori, and we'll get to her, but Erica, you got like a stank face going on. What's happening?
This is embarrassing.
I know, it's uncomfortable.
I mean, it's bad enough that she was scammed. Like, I would feel bad for her because it's already embarrassing, but for her to go after the real Brad Pitt for damages, like, girl, just take your L.
I know.
Had she come forward with this story, knowing, like, I mean, not that I know Brad Pitt, but he seems like a guy who wants to make things right. He may have just given her the $40,000, but to put him in this whole lawsuit based on her ignorance, and actually, this isn't even ignorance, this is narcissism,
Right.
okay?
Mhm.
You're having a communication with Brad Pitt, and you're talking marriage. You want to believe that this is true so much that you let all logic just go out the window.
Can you imagine?
No, that's an L. You're just gonna have to eat that 40.
Yeah, take the L. Can you imagine
No.
this whole time she thought she was about to marry Brad
And
Pitt?
she's like, he's talking marriage.
Yeah.
He's talking marriage.
How many of her friends at coffee was she like, yeah, Brad and I might be getting married soon?
We have to talk about it, but he did bring it up. You guys also know that in a lawsuit, you need something in Latin called mens rea, which means you need a reason to sue. Brad Pitt did nothing in this. There's
Poor
no reason
guy.
to sue the actual Brad Pitt.
I feel
you
like
can't have a court case.
You know why I think she did it? Here's my conspiracy really quickly. The reason why I believe she's suing him is because she, for so long, believed she was going to be with the real Brad Pitt.
Wow.
She's having trouble letting go of
Reality.
that reality that Brad is no longer officially in her life. So
Oh.
this is her way to still keep him in.
Close.
I know, Erica. I know. Erica, that chair is swallowing you.
Look at that
Look how
gorgeous
gorgeous.
throne.
I know.
Is it wicker? It's gorgeous.
It is. It's gorgeous. Okay. So a new study. Now both of you have dogs. So do I. So you really need to listen up to this one. Listen up to this. Does that make sense?
Not
Listen
at all.
Up. Listen up
To this?
to this.
Not at all, but I liked it.
Okay. Listen up. A new study suggests that our dogs don't like looking at our faces.
I know.
The study in the Journal of Neuroscience found that dogs aren't wired to focus on human faces, but their brains do perk up when they see another dog. Dogs notice our faces, but they use other information such as body language and our voice to tell what we're up to. In fact, they saw that like when a dog looks at the back of your head, and then your face, it's the same reaction.
Really?
So you can literally be like backwards
No.
talking to your dog and they won't care. They won't care. So Erica, first let's look at a little picture of you and Spike. Has this ever happened to you and Spike where, yeah, Spike doesn't care to look at you right there at all.
Yeah, so Spike actually, we have a rule that people can't put their faces in his face.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if Tori wants to get into this one, but he doesn't like
No, he doesn't
faces
like
in
that.
his face.
That's okay.
And you know what? I was too forward with Spike. I came on real strong with
So
Spike.
you started the rule?
Yeah.
And
Spike told me in a very
ruined
appropriate...
it for everybody because
Yeah.
he doesn't like your face.
My self-esteem just went to here.
You ruined it for me.
Even Spike.
I want Spike kisses.
You know what, though? He
Let's
told
see
me.
a picture of you and your dogs,
Okay.
because I don't think they look at you either.
No.
Nope.
So this is right after Josie Rose got her gallbladder removed and almost died. And I was so grateful, but now I'm thinking she's just looking up at this guy.
Beautiful photo of you. You should frame that. You look stunning.
Do I?
Yeah, you look like an
Okay.
Abercrombie model.
Oh!
You do.
God, I love that.
And then the producers are telling me they have one of me and baby.
Yes.
Why do you guys always show that photo? That photo.
I've seen that 1 million times.
The most posed.
I love that photo.
In my leopard pajamas.
Always in her onesie. Look at that one Catwoman thing you were wearing.
Well, was baby looking at me? Or no? No.
No, not at all.
Baby doesn't care about me either. Oh, baby.
We love you, baby.
I know. 17 and some change.
She's doing fantastic.
She really is.
She really
Coming
is.
up on DBL, we'll show you the best parallel parker of all time.
It's me.
It's not Tori. You got to stick around. And next, meet a surrogate mother faced with a decision she never thought she'd have to make to raise the baby she was supposed to give away. Can you imagine? It's an incredible story. Next. Welcome back to DBL. So last year, a woman in Idaho agreed to be a surrogate mom for a couple in China, but then the pandemic hit. So this is Emily Crislip and her family. She's the surrogate mom and has raised the infant for the past 4 months because the biological parents are unable to bring their daughter home. Earlier, Emily shared this emotional experience in our DBL Spotlight. And a note to our viewers, we are not showing the baby's face or saying her name out of respect to her family. Joining us now is Emily Crislip from Idaho. Emily, I'm speechless. Like, first of all, your selflessness, this story, tragic on so many levels, but your selflessness is definitely the silver lining. So first and foremost, thank you for talking to us here at DBL.
Yeah.
So walk us through what was going through your mind the first time that you realized that the parents of the baby that you have been carrying for months would not make it for the birth.
At first, I was a little nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then, I figured if the parents want us to, take care of her, then they would bring up that conversation, and they ended up doing that. So after that, reality kind of hit, and, a lot of conversations were had, and we just kind of rolled with it.
Wow. Okay, so I imagine that this was an extremely hard decision because you're a mom of a 2.5-year-old. I'm a mom of a 3-year-old. Just even having, my second child, it's so hard balancing the two. And then here you are. What was it that made you say yes to doing this?
We just thought it was the right thing to do. It was either us or a nanny agency, and we just tried to put ourselves in the parents' position and, if that was us, what would we want? And so we just kind of based it on that, and we just didn't feel comfortable not being able to give her directly to her parents.
Oh, Emily, you're amazing. You really are. This child is so lucky to have you. These parents are so lucky to have you. So how are her parents handling this, and do you talk to them a lot?
We text basically all throughout the week. We try to do a video chat on the weekends. They seem to be handling it okay. They're not really showing any kind of specific emotion. They obviously get really excited when they get to see her on the video chat, but they seem to be handling it pretty well.
Wow, I can't even imagine being the parents. I can't imagine being you. This is just such a difficult situation. But again, I'm just so lucky that child is so lucky to have all of you involved. So how do you not let yourself get too attached to the baby, considering that, you are going to have to give that child to her parents?
It is difficult at times, and sometimes I catch myself okay, take it down a notch. But it's really just keeping that strong mentality of it.
Right. And after all you've gone through, do you want to keep a relationship with the child and her family after she goes home?
I'd love to. I'd love to be able to watch her grow up and see pictures of her. But ultimately, it's the parents' decision on what they want to do.
Wow. You're amazing. Okay, so no one goes into surrogacy with a plan to raise the child, but why did you decide to become a surrogate mom? And after everything you've gone through, would you do this again?
So my husband and I watched family and friends struggle with trying to get pregnant, and we were very lucky to not have to really struggle for that. We were pretty blessed, and so we decided to look into it, especially because my pregnancy and delivery was very easy and there was no complications. And to do it again, I don't know. The way that the world is right now, I don't know if I would do it again right now. If this specific couple would come back and say, we want to use one of our other embryos and we want you to carry the baby, I would consider it for them.
Wow, we need more Emilys in the world, and we are hoping that she can be reunited with her family soon. Thank you for sharing your incredible story with us, Emily. We really appreciate you. I appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. So would you travel with a perfect stranger during the pandemic if your friends bailed on you? We're going to chat about it in today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. So get this. Josiah Burton and Therese Roca were total strangers who both had international travel plans, but their friends canceled on them because of COVID. So Josiah asked a Facebook travel group if anyone would be visiting Turkey when he was. Therese answered, well, the rest is history. Look at that photo. They got to know each other, they shared their itineraries, and now their story has gone viral. So when it comes to traveling, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. Whoa, I love that their story ended so well, but this makes me nervous.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this. I think it's great, but I'd be very nervous.
What if, like, you really took the time to vet them? Like, she apparently really took the time to understand who he was and feel comfortable with meeting up with him.
Okay, I wouldn't do this, but I'm these spontaneous travelers might, and I'm glad she vetted. Just be careful out there, people.
Yeah. Erica, would you ever do something like this if you vetted them and took the time?
No. You all know me better than that.
Yeah, what the heck?
I know, and I actually like being alone.
Yeah, would you do this?
No, because I love to be, people think that I'm like very, you know, social and chatty Cathy. When I leave this table, I don't say very many words unless it's to my kids.
Yeah, you
and
are.
I have no problem traveling by myself.
Have you traveled by yourself?
No, but I guess in my swimming days, that's all I did was traveled by myself as a swimmer.
Wow.
But no, all my recent travel's been with my husband, and he's the chatty Cathy. Let me tell you, boy, don't sit by a pool with Mark. Gosh, you'll get to know the friends over the people over here, the people over there, this person, that person.
Oh, those are called pool friends.
Pool friends.
Pool friends. Then it ends at the elevator. Everybody knows the pool friends.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, otherwise it's awkward, right, Erica? Because then, like, they're like, so are we meeting up later, or what are we gonna? No,
we're not meeting. No, our relationship only exists at the pool.
This is over. This is over. That's the rule.
I love it. I got to tell Mark that there's a boundary. Okay, the elevator is the boundary. Got it. Coming up on DBL, the best parallel parker around, and it ain't Tori Shulman.
Yeah, it is.
Nope. She's crashed into many vehicles while parallel parking. You won't believe what this guy can do. Next. Welcome back to DBL. There we are. Before we go, you've got to see this Guinness World Record for parallel parking. It's bonkers. This stuntman performs the tightest ever parallel park in reverse, no less. He whips the car into the spot going full speed and leaves less than 14 inches between his car and the other two. Wow, Tori, you are not even close to this person.
What do you mean, Sam?
Erica, I feel like you're a really good parallel parker.
Well, I did beat Jeff when we had our parallel parking contest because it was the Battle of Chicagoans. That's a must. You need to know how to parallel park.
I think we have footage, don't we? Or do we not have it of this? Okay, so this is us. Oh, Sam, this was you and me.
I overshot it, guys. Rather do a many point.
She did a nice job.
Like a bug in a rug.
Like a bug in a rug.
It's pretty darn good, Tori.
And then watch what happens when I try.
And bang. Yeah, we're gonna leave you with that, folks. Yes, we are. Before we go, I wanna give a shout out right now. My little Sophie is watching us with her cousins, Mia and Jackson. We love you, Mia, Jackson, and Sophie. Be good over there. I'll see you soon. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Thank you, Erica. Have a great weekend, everybody. Woo-hoo!
On Daily Blast Live.
Inside the plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Who were the 13 men charged? How was their plan foiled? And were they trying to incite a civil war? A woman is nearly removed from a flight because her low-cut top. Do you think her outfit is obscene? Plus, what the pilot did to keep her from being kicked off. Sesame Street and Barbie are trying to teach children about racism.
If we all work together, we can make a big difference.
How are these kids shows handling this difficult topic? And Love After Lockup's Dr. Ish. Why are people marrying inmates? And is dating criminals worth all the trouble?
And we all deserve second chances, right?
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, October 9th. I'm Sam here with Tori. I barely made it up here. I'm a little out of breath.
You did good.
The Denver altitude does not help.
It's been 3 years.
Yep, I have a little gap right here because we're working on a safety pin situation.
Tell it like it is.
I just want to announce it before other people start writing in that I have a hole right here. It's all good, people. It's Friday, thank God. Erica joining us remotely. Hey, E, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Happy Friday.
Yes. We need that. Totally. We need that. Yes, we do.
And I love your fireplace again. She looks like she's in a Game of Thrones cave. Good for you. It's unbelievable.
Erica doesn't watch Game of Thrones, and either do I. So that reference went right out one ear and the other.
Starting off strong.
I'm glad it's Ladies' Day. I miss you,
Ladies!
Tori. Miss you.
Miss you too.
All right, let's get to it. So did you all hear about this crazy plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan? Well, the FBI stopped it, thank goodness, but 13 men were arrested. They were all members of 2 militia groups who were allegedly preparing to kidnap and possibly kill Governor Gretchen Whitmer and even bring bombs to the Capitol to spark a civil war. Terrifying. So do you remember back in April when a large group of armed men stormed the Michigan Capitol? Well, as you can see there, 2 of the suspects were seen in photos from that day. Well, here's what the governor told GMA.
This was a very serious, thought-out plot to kill police officers, to bomb our Capitol, killing press and Democrats and Republicans alike, and to kidnap and ultimately put me on trial and kill me as well. These are the types of things you hear from groups like ISIS. This is not a militia. It is a domestic terror organization.
Wow, and it's really important, Tori, to call it domestic terrorism, because if we can call it what it is, we can actually create solutions. And I hope and I pray be away with this. However, with the divisiveness in our political climate right now, do you think that we're going to see more of it?
We certainly will when there was no consequence, when they kind of went to the Capitol with guns and stood there and there wasn't a big uproar. I think what's interesting here is what she said. They're gangs. They're domestic terrorists. And we now know that's the #1 security threat for the United States from the Department of Homeland Security. So at some point, the names matter, the words matter. At some point, they're just guys with guns who wanted to kidnap and kill the governor of Michigan. We got to call it what it is. I went to University of Michigan. There's a lot of anarchist militia kind of around that area, and I was surprised to know
Michigan
that.
militia, that's what a lot of them call themselves.
Yeah. So not surprised it's Michigan, surprised it went this far. She was almost kidnapped and killed.
Yeah, and Erica, do you fear, I mean, back to my question, because I know that now more than ever, we have a lot of Americans that see the political divisiveness, and we talk about it on this show, and I know people are worried that we're going to see more of that and that there is potentially a civil war.
Yeah, I understand that fear. I've been saying this for years. I truly have always believed that there are outlying groups that truly want a civil war, want a race war, are really thrilled by the idea of there being so much chaos and divisiveness, because if you're paying attention to what's happening over here, then you're not going to pay attention to what's happening over here. But I think we all need to have our heads on a swivel. If you see something, you say something, because I've said this. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. If one of us is unsafe, we are all unsafe. That's just what it is. Like, you notice that there was no, like, we're only going after this group or that group. It's about the mass killing of all different people.
Even police officers. If your Blue Lives Matter or you believe in that, you were putting police officers and FBI at risk too.
Yeah, DBL Nation, please write in because we want to hear from you as well. So many Americans are struggling right now, especially everyone who works for the airlines or hospitality industry, and there are some new surveys just showing how bad it really is. 1 in 5 Americans, you guys, could be out of money by Election Day, less than 4 weeks from now. 52% of restaurants and bars could be forced out of business in the next 4 to 6 months in some places if restrictions are not lifted. Erica, how worried are you that we're facing a depression-level event this fall and winter, and what are you doing to prepare?
Sam, this is so disheartening because we have all of these debates happening. Obviously, we're in a very strong political climate going into the election. And I think that we are really dropping the ball on what is the most imminent threat at this point for families all over this country. And that's the idea that they don't know necessarily if they'll have a place to live or if they'll have food to eat. Like, the idea that 53% of restaurants could be closed by the time of the election, like, then what happens to those buildings? What happened to those neighborhoods? What happens to the people who made their living on that? Like, this is a national crisis.
And a domino effect.
Totally, and I don't know if you guys agree with me and let me know, but I do feel like not just the government, but a lot of people in America are just doing this. La, 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 la. It's not gonna happen. Like, if I don't talk about it or think about it, in 6 months, it'll all go away. It's not. We're gonna crash. If you don't remember 1929, 1930, people were eating, I mean, like leather. It was so bad. I'm not saying we're going there. I'm simply saying we can't do this and pretend it's not going to happen. Because 1 in 5,
yeah,
that
you need to
shocked
face it
me.
head on.
Head on.
Yeah, very scary though. Okay, so DBL Nation, we want your opinion on this next story, okay? This woman, and I'm going to read your comments, so please start writing in. This woman was not allowed on a Southwest Airlines flight because the airline said her top was lewd, obscene, and offensive. Now, the woman recorded what happened to her, including when the pilot tried to help. Take a look.
They're hating on you because you're looking good. Is that right?
I don't take this lightly at all. I would like to get on my plane.
If they have it in their book, or where they want you to cover up, are you willing to do that?
I want to see it because
Sure.
I'm not. Right now, it's just giving police my body.
Wow. The pilot ended up giving her a large T-shirt, which she did end up wearing on the flight. So Southwest said they promote a, quote, family-centric environment, and they leave it up to passengers to use good judgment and exercise discretion. Now, they did apologize to the woman, and they did refund her her flight, but she insists it's not right to tell her what to wear because of the way that she is shaped. So this is where we want to hear from you, DBL Nation. We want to know what you think. Was this outfit appropriate to wear on a flight, in your opinion? Go ahead and vote at dblvote.com to weigh in, and then I'm going to read comments too. But Tori, how do you feel?
First of all, I just think this always happens to a curvy black person. Let's just call that out. It constantly seems to happen. If a large white man had a tank top on that was spaghetti straps and you could see part of his pectorals, would he get kicked off a flight? Second, though, I understand that that might be a little uncomfortable or offensive to some people. Modesty is important, and people used to get dressed up to go travel on planes. But guess what you can do, Sam? You can turn your head and not look. There's no reason to kick someone off, to make them feel so undignified, and to make them feel like they're being policed, I think.
Erica, do you agree or disagree with Tori?
I think the young woman was putting her best fashion foot forward, and it certainly, if I could rock it, I may rock that same outfit. Let's just be really clear about what this is, especially as someone who has been in an airport lately. There are so many things that need to be worried about in terms of social distancing that is not happening in a lot of situations. People covering their faces with masks, making sure that the plane is sanitized and disinfected. What one woman chooses to wear is her prerogative to do so, especially given the fact that the airline refunded her ticket. That means that they never came forward with anything to say that what this gate attendant was saying was the truth. So if it wasn't a part of the policy, then you're just deciding to make a mountain out of a molehill, essentially, because this woman at least had clothes on. All of her parts were covered. I don't see what the big deal is.
Well, you two are in the minority, because if you look at the vote right now, Erica, 76% of our viewers say no. Let me really quickly, before we leave for break, give you some comments from DBL Nation. Charmaine says it comes down to generations. Older people will be more offended than younger people. Dina says, I'm all for body positivity, but not everything is fat shaming. Sometimes it's just decency. Abigail says, I don't think it's asking too much to put on a shirt. And Viviana says, the only reason I'd want her to cover up is so that my husband doesn't get a heart attack. I just want to take note that those are all women that made those 4 comments. And I find that very interesting.
Sam.
All right, Erica, stick around. Coming up on DBL, 2 big names in children's entertainment, Barbie and Sesame Street. They are tackling racism. Will starting the discussion at a young age make a difference later in life? Plus, why is a healthcare CEO from Texas suing Brad Pitt? Wait till you hear the crazy details.
See yourself.
Welcome back to DBL. There's so much going on in the world right now, and for parents or grandparents, it often means trying to explain complicated issues like racism to little kids. But now some well-known kids brands are trying to help. Sesame Street will air a half-hour anti-racism special called The Power of We, with the message that racism hurts and it is wrong. It'll feature skits and songs in a Zoom-like format and streams later this month on HBO Max. Now, that's not the only one. In fact, Barbie is sitting down to have a tough conversation about racism with her friend Nikki. Check out this clip from her latest vlog.
Barbie and I had a sticker selling contest on the beach last month. We split up and went different directions to see who could sell the most. Well, while I was on the boardwalk, beach security stopped me 3 times.
What?
They asked me all these questions over and over, and they even called my mom. I never told you, but that's why I sold a few stickers that day. The security officers thought I was doing something bad, even though I was doing exactly what you were doing. Usually, when I talk about these things, people make excuses. People did these things to me because I was black, and they made the wrong assumptions about me.
And they don't make those assumptions about white people like me.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I say that in a good way as a parent. Erica, would you show these to your nieces, nephews, to your kids one day? How do you feel about brands trying to teach kids these topics? Do you believe it'll help?
I do believe that it'll help, because I think especially as children, when you experience different things that are racially charged or insensitive, it's very difficult for you to process. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade, I was in Girl Scouts, and I was one of 2 black girls in a troop of about 20 to 25 girls. And we were all out at a park, and we had taken the sticks, like we burned the sticks in the fire, and we did like the, you know, EC heart, you know, type thing that kids do on the pavement with the soot. And one of the scout leaders said to me, although there were a few other girls around, like, she accused me of vandalism and graffitiing and said that we don't do that here. But she didn't address any of the other girls who I was with. And it's very difficult to process why you're being called out or singled out in that moment. And also for the other girls to understand that, like, I didn't do anything worse than what they did, and they should have had equal reprimand, but they didn't. So I think it is important to meet kids where they are to explain what's happening in that moment.
Yeah, Erica, I think there needs to be training, whether it's, I hope it's not, you know, conscious, because, I mean, that's a whole nother situation when it comes to hiring specific teachers. But training, perhaps it being a bias, just like we see with nurses in the medical field, on how there is a mistreatment of patients that are of color. But then going back to your point, I just recently read the statistic that I believe young children of color are disciplined in school, doing the same thing, whether they're getting up to go sharpen their pencil when they're not supposed to, or talking while the teacher is speaking, that they get disciplined almost 3 times more than children who are non-black.
Wow.
So
good for Barbie.
I
just
know.
Different Barbie than when I grew up with. I didn't know she had a vlog, but also, like, way to be honest and say it's because I was black. I was pretty taken by that,
Yeah,
and I
me
love
too.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, and I want Sophie to watch this.
Yeah, of course she should.
I really do. You know, luckily there's a lot of really cool cartoons nowadays. They don't tackle specifically racism, and I'm loving that this does, but at least I see her watching like very diverse characters, and I really am appreciative of that. But hey, they did not mince words here.
No, Barbie went there.
And we can't when it comes to racism. So let's hopefully teach our future generation to be much more inclusive. Okay, Erica, don't go away. Coming up, brand new charges, that's right, have been filed in Megan Thee Stallion's shooting case. We'll tell you who faces up to 22 years in prison. And next, love after lockup. Relationship advisor Dr. Ish, why are people marrying inmates? And is dating criminals worth all that trouble?
got your back.
Welcome back to DBL. Reality TV can be a guilty pleasure now more than ever. Earlier, Al sat down with celebrity dating expert Dr. Ish Major to talk about one of his favorites, Love After Lockup.
I'm a convict. I could go back to prison.
Now, before we get to our shared guilty pleasure of Love After Lockup, tell me, because me and my girl, we watch the show all the time, we do ask this question: why do people fall in love with men and women who end up in prison and who have a criminal record?
Oh, Al, come on, man. It's the ultimate bad boy, bad girl fantasy, right? Can I get them? Can I cage them? Can I control them? Can I do the thing that nobody else could? Yeah, I know they have lied to other people. I know they've cheated and tricked other people. But if they don't do it to me, then that makes me special.
Makes sense. Now, can you explain how sex and intimacy plays a distinct role in these relationships with former inmates?
Well, it does, right? Because there's this thing that physically, logistically, we can't really do it. right? We've got our visitation days, but otherwise that tension builds, right? So there's that anticipation. There's like, sometimes, Al, the kiss that you have in your mind is 10 times more powerful than the kiss you actually have in real life, right? That imagination plays wonders when it comes to that. So there's that anticipation in moving on. Now, the other thing that they also do well is they talk about needs and more. They make it very clear why I need you and why I want you here with me.
Man, that first of all, this is why we love having you on the show. You keep it real. So I'm going to ask you this question. Is it possible in your mind to have a healthy relationship with someone that has a history of being in trouble with the law?
And we all deserve second chances, right? We can be rehabilitated to life, and so that is no different, right? And so, but the key here is, right? Life outside is very different from life inside, and so they didn't go in because they did life well. So you got to be very patient and give them the space to grow into that person you need to be. Because out here, there's always that undercurrent is, hey, you know what? I stayed with you while you were in there. I held you down. I kept money on your commissary card, and now you owe me big time.
There's always that dynamic. There's always that dynamic. And you can tell when they get out, they want to go party, and the people they've been talking to are like, hey, let's sit on the couch. And they're like, I've been in jail for 3 years. I'm about to go kick it for a couple hours. As the relationship advisor for Love After Lockup, what challenges are the couples facing now that it's back?
There's life skills that have to be learned. There's like you said, I've been locked up for years. I just kind of want to go kick it for a couple of hours. Do we have to get married today? We got one couple, John and Christiana, they literally got married the day they met. He put a chapel up in the back of his pickup truck.
She said yes, but Christiana does not know that the big day is upon us and that right now we are heading to my mobile wedding chapel in the back of my truck.
And they got it done.
Me and my girl laughed at that episode for so long just because, I don't know if you remember the guy that set the chapel up when she was late getting to the halfway house. She goes, how much time is it going to take? He goes, we're going to be 30 minutes late if we do 85. I will never forget that. So this show has given me so much. I love this show, and I love that you're the relationship advisor because you are going to keep it real on what I consider the most real reality show on TV. Thank you, Dr. Ish, for joining us on DBL. Check out the return of Love After Lockup tonight on WeTV. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you
Welcome back. More comments about the women on the planes. We got Linda. She says, I am sorry, not appropriate. That looks like a bra or bathing suit top. And Charles says she looks great. What would you say to that, Tori?
I would
the
just
first
say,
comment.
The very first comment, if you saw someone probably without as much breasts and skinnier and she wore a halter top and a mid crop, I'm not sure you would feel the exact same way. Was it because she was curvy?
I think so. I really do.
But I do hear that modesty is important to many people. I don't want to offend that, but
of course.
Let's be fair.
All right, thank you, Tori.
Yeah.
Here's what's coming up on DBL. A rapper is facing charges for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion. And why is a woman suing Brad Pitt? DBL's new every day. We'll be right back.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Thank you, Chris. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with my girl Tor. Oh, lean back. And lean back.
And lean back. I was trying to look casual, so I went like this. That's not a good look for anyone.
Erica joining us remotely. Erica.
Sorry, Erica.
How are you?
I'm wonderful and almost as giddy as you guys are.
Okay, good. Well, it is Friday. All right, so the top of the trending stories today, Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, well, is facing felony charges in connection with the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion back in July. So Megan has been vocal about the incident. We've talked about it right here on DBL, where she was shot in the foot. She also named Tory as the alleged shooter on social media in August. Tory was hit with 1 count of assault and 1 count of carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm. So if convicted, he does face a maximum sentence of 22 years in prison. Erica, why do you think it took this long for an arrest? And what do you think should happen to Tory?
You know, I can't tell you why it took so long to make an arrest. I do understand that Megan was very vocal about the fact that she wasn't forthcoming about exactly what happened during the night of the incident, because she was very wary of the idea of there being a car full of black people at a time that, you know, tensions are very high racially between black people and the police, like more openly than normal. And she didn't want to jeopardize everyone's life by saying
saying that they had a loaded weapon in the vehicle. Then she went on to not say very much on social media at all. It wasn't until Tory's people allegedly put out all of these stories basically calling Megan a liar and saying that these things never existed. Then Tory goes on to release an album which not only calls Megan a liar, but also says that, you know, they dated, which they publicly have never acknowledged. So it seems as though Tory Lanez and his people have really been trying very hard to get in front of this, to construct this narrative. So if he has so much to say, I just say, tell it all to the judge, because it's about time that this arrest was made.
A lot of people are saying it also reflects, Erica, the SNL musical guest, which was Megan Thee Stallion. Remember, she was shot in both feet. There's video of it, blood coming out of her foot. If they were together, you question if this is some kind of domestic violence issue, actually. And when she stopped, and you heard Malcolm X say, the most disrespected human on the planet is the black woman. I think there was a lot to say about what went in the car that night, about what she was feeling, along with, of course, the climate and social feeling around Black Lives Matter. But I just don't understand why it took so long. I'd love to know what the investigation was. There was video. There was video of her getting out of the car with blood coming out of her heels. I'd love to know what it was, and I'd love for him to get what he deserves if he is convicted.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so things took an ugly turn during a family trip on Keeping Up with the Kardashians last night. Kendall and Kylie Jenner appeared to get into a brawl while vacationing in Palm Springs. The fight happened off camera and seemed to start when Kylie borrowed an outfit from Kourtney that Kendall had planned on wearing. Are you following me? Have a look.
What are they yelling about? It's an emergency. Go get Kendall.
I'm dead sober. I wouldn't make up. And she smacked me, smacked me or something. And so I came back at her and smacked her in the face. And then she took her heel and put it into my neck. Why? So then I started kicking her back. No, we got in a full fight. The fact that my sister, my blood, was reacting that way, it's so upsetting.
Whoa.
Look at Erica.
Now listen, I had some pretty big fights with my sisters over outfits and clothes and perfume and
Did you stick a stiletto in her neck?
But we were like 12, 13, 14, 15. These girls are full-blown adults in their 20s, Erica. What do you make of this?
I think it's interesting that it comes on the heels of this epic fight on Real Housewives of Potomac, because there was a lot being said about what it does to the image of women, specifically black women in this instance, when you see these public displays of violence. But we don't acknowledge that you have shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where this isn't the first time that these two are siblings, that sisters have violently attacked each other. And this just seems completely asinine that we would just say this is entertainment, because it's not. First of all, that's your blood, right? And you're violently attacking each other over an outfit when you're worth $1 billion. Girl, get another outfit. Yeah. I don't think that this is cute at all, and I really don't understand why anybody would allow themselves to be seen in this type of light. Fighting amongst your sister? Like, nah,
and there's
no.
I agree. There's a reason, too, we never saw it on camera. I wonder if, remember, Chris gets editing a credit, and she can cut that out. We never saw the actual brawl, and I wonder if they just thought this is too much to show. Remember, Kourtney and Khloe got in a terrible one, and there was, like, fighting, and I was just like, what's going on? Yeah, I think it's time for the show to maybe sail off into that Kardashian sunset.
Tori is very animated today. Did you notice she did this for editing?
And then the sunset.
Very Full House-esque. And then you did this move
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Okay. Wow. Thank goodness it's Friday, folks. A woman is suing Brad Pitt for $100,000, claiming he ripped her off.
Oh, God.
So here's what happened, okay? The woman says she paid Brad $40,000 to appear at events she was organizing for his charity, but then Brad never showed up. So the woman, who's a healthcare CEO in Texas, by the way, there she is, also claims she and Brad developed such a close online connection that he even brought up marriage. Well, the problem is, you guys, he was a scammer.
No.
Pretending to be the actor the entire time, but she's still suing the real Brad. His lawyers filed a countersuit saying, yeah, Brad never had any dealings with her, so the court should dismiss the case. That's coming from Brad's camp.
Oh,
Erica Cobb. I mean, we heard a lot of grunts and ohs and ahs from Tori, and we'll get to her, but Erica, you got like a stank face going on. What's happening?
This is embarrassing.
I know, it's uncomfortable.
I mean, it's bad enough that she was scammed. Like, I would feel bad for her because it's already embarrassing, but for her to go after the real Brad Pitt for damages, like, girl, just take your L. Had she come forward with the story, knowing, like, I mean, not that I know Brad Pitt, but he seems like a guy who wants to make things right. He may have just given her the $40,000, but to put him in this whole lawsuit based on her ignorance, and actually, this isn't even ignorance, this is narcissism, okay? You're having a communication with Brad Pitt, and you're talking marriage. You want to believe that this is true so much that you let all logic just go out the window.
Imagine.
No, that's an L. You're just gonna have to eat that 40.
Yeah, take the L.
Can you imagine this whole time she thought she was about to marry Brad Pitt?
She's like, he's talking marriage.
Yeah.
He's talking marriage.
How many of her friends at coffee was she like, yeah, Brad and I might be getting married soon?
We have to talk about it, but he did bring it up. You guys also know that in a lawsuit, you need something in Latin called mens rea, which means you need a reason to sue. Brad Pitt did nothing in this. There's no reason to sue the actual Brad Pitt.
I feel like
you can't have a court case.
You know why I think she did it? Here's my conspiracy really quickly. The reason why I believe she's suing him is because she, for so long, believed she was going to be with the real Brad Pitt.
Wow.
She's having trouble letting go of
reality
that Brad is no longer officially in her life. So this is her way to still keep him in. I know, Erica. I know. Erica, that chair is swallowing you.
Look at that
gorgeous
throne.
I know.
Is it wicker? It's gorgeous.
It is. It's gorgeous. Okay. So a new study. Now, both of you have dogs. So do I. So you really need to listen up to this one. Listen up to this. Does that make sense?
Not at all.
Listen up
to this.
To this?
Not at all. But I liked it.
Okay. Listen up. A new study suggests that our dogs don't like looking at our faces. The study in the Journal of Neuroscience found that dogs aren't wired to focus on human faces, but their brains do perk up when they see another dog. Dogs notice our faces, but they use other information such as body language and our voice to tell what we're up to. In fact, they saw that, like, when a dog looks at the back of your head and then your face, it's the same reaction.
Really?
So you can literally be like backwards talking to your dog and they won't care. They won't care. So Erica, first let's look at a little picture of you and Spike. Has this ever happened to you and Spike where Spike doesn't care to look at you right there at all?
Yeah, so Spike, actually, we have a rule that people can't put their faces in his face.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if Tori wants to get into this one, but he doesn't like faces in his face.
That's okay.
And you know what? I was too forward with Spike. I came on real strong with Spike.
So you started the rule?
Yeah.
And
Spike told me in a very
ruined it for everybody because he doesn't like your face.
My self-esteem just went to here.
You ruined it for me.
Even Spike.
I want Spike kisses.
You know what, though?
Let's see a picture of you and your dogs, because I don't think they look at you either.
No.
Nope.
So this is right after Josie Rose got her gallbladder removed and almost died. And I was so grateful, but now I'm thinking she's just looking up at this guy.
Beautiful photo of you. You should frame that. You look stunning.
Do I?
Yeah, you look like an Abercrombie model.
Oh!
You do.
God, I love that.
And then the producers are telling me they have one of me and Baby.
Yes.
Why do you guys always show that photo? That photo.
I've seen that 1 million times.
The most posed.
I love that photo.
In my leopard pajamas.
Always in her onesie. Look at that one Catwoman thing you were wearing.
Well, was Baby looking at me? Or no? No.
No, not at all.
Baby doesn't care about me either. Oh, Baby.
We love you, Baby.
I know. 17 and some change.
She's doing fantastic.
She really is.
She really
Coming up on DBL, we'll show you the best parallel parker of all time.
It's me.
It's not Tori. You got to stick around. And next, meet a surrogate mother faced with a decision she never thought she'd have to make. To raise the baby she was supposed to give away. Can you imagine? It's an incredible story. Next. Welcome back to DBL. So last year, a woman in Idaho agreed to be a surrogate mom for a couple in China, but then the pandemic hit. So this is Emily Crislip and her family. She's the surrogate mom and has raised the infant for the past 4 months because the biological parents are unable to bring their daughter home. Earlier, Emily shared this emotional experience in our DBL Spotlight. And a note to our viewers, we are not showing the baby's face or saying her name out of respect to her family. Joining us now is Emily Crislip from Idaho. Emily, I'm speechless. Like, first of all, your selflessness, this story, tragic on so many levels, but your selflessness is definitely the silver lining. So first and foremost, thank you for talking to us here at DBL.
Yeah.
So walk us through what was going through your mind the first time that you realized that the parents of the baby that you have been carrying for months would not make it for the birth.
At first, I was a little nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then, I figured if the parents want us to, take care of her, then they would bring up that conversation, and they ended up doing that. So after that, reality kind of hit, and, a lot of conversations were had, and we just kind of rolled with it.
Wow. Okay, so I imagine that this was an extremely hard decision because you're a mom of a 2.5-year-old. I'm a mom of a 3-year-old. Just even having, my second child, it's so hard balancing the two. And then here you are. What was it that made you say yes to doing this?
We just thought it was the right thing to do. It was either us or a nanny agency, and we just tried to put ourselves in the parents' position and, if that was us, what would we want? And so we just kind of based it on that, and we just didn't feel comfortable not being able to give her directly to her parents.
Aw, Emily, you're amazing. You really are.
Thank
This
you.
child is so lucky to have you. These parents are so lucky to have you. So how are her parents handling this, and do you talk to them a lot?
We text basically all throughout the week. We try to do a video chat on the weekends. They seem to be handling it okay. They're not really showing any kind of specific emotion. They obviously get really excited when they get to see her on the video chat, but they seem to be handling it pretty well.
Wow, I can't even imagine being the parents. I can't imagine being you. This is just such a difficult situation. But again, I'm just so lucky that child is so lucky to have all of you involved. So how do you not let yourself get too attached to the baby, considering that, you are going to have to give that child to her parents?
It is difficult at times, and sometimes I catch myself okay, take it down a notch. But it's really just keeping that strong mentality of it.
Right. And after all you've gone through, do you want to keep a relationship with the child and her family after she goes home?
I'd love to. I'd love to be able to watch her grow up and see pictures of her. But ultimately, it's the parents' decision on what they want to do.
Wow. You're amazing. Okay, so no one goes into surrogacy with a plan to raise the child, but why did you decide to become a surrogate mom? And after everything you've gone through, would you do this again?
So my husband and I watched family and friends struggle with trying to get pregnant, and we were very lucky to not have to really struggle for that. We were pretty blessed, and so we decided to look into it, especially because my pregnancy and delivery was very easy and there was no complications. And to do it again, I don't know. With the way that the world is right now, I don't know if I would do it again right now. If this specific couple would come back and say, we want to use one of our other embryos and we want you to carry the baby, I would consider it for them.
Wow, we need more Emilys in the world, and we are hoping that she can be reunited with her family soon. Thank you for sharing your incredible story with us, Emily. We really appreciate you. I appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Could someone be
Travel with a perfect stranger during the pandemic. If your friends bailed on you, we're going to chat about it in today's DBL Drive, sponsored by CarShield. So get this, Josiah Burton and Therese Roca were total strangers who both had international travel plans, but their friends canceled on them because of COVID. So Josiah asked a Facebook travel group if anyone would be visiting Turkey when he was. Therese answered, well, the rest is history. Look at that photo. They got to know each other, they shared their itineraries, and now their story has gone viral. So when it comes to traveling, get an auto protection plan with CarShield. CarShield protects their members from the high cost of auto repairs. Call 1-800-505-9619 for a free quote. Whoa, I love that their story ended so well, but this makes me nervous.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this. I think it's great, but I'd be very nervous.
What if, like, you really took the time to vet them? Like, she apparently really took the time to understand who he was and feel comfortable with meeting up with him.
Okay, I wouldn't do this, but these spontaneous travelers might, and I'm glad she vetted. Just be careful out there, people.
Yeah. Erica, would you ever do something like this if you vetted them and took the time?
No.
She's like,
Y'all know me better than that.
Yeah, what the heck?
I know, and I actually like being alone.
Yeah, would you do this?
No, because I love to be, people think that I'm like very, you know, social and chatty Cathy. When I leave this table, I don't say very many words unless it's to my kids.
Yeah, you
and
are.
I have no problem traveling by myself.
Have you traveled by yourself?
No, but I guess in my swimming days, that's all I did was traveled by myself as a swimmer.
Wow.
But no, all my recent travel's been with my husband, and he's the chatty Cathy. Let me tell you, boy, don't sit by a pool with Mark. Gosh, you'll get to know the friends over the people over here, the people over there, this person, that person.
Oh, those are called pool friends.
Pool friends.
Pool friends. Then it ends at the elevator. Everybody knows the pool friends.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, otherwise it's awkward, right, Erica? Because then, like, they're like, so are we meeting up later, or what are we gonna? No,
we're not meeting. Nope. No, our relationship only exists at the pool.
This is over. This is over. That's the rule.
I love it. I got to tell Mark that there's a boundary. Okay, the elevator is the boundary. Got it. Coming up on DBL, the best parallel parker around, and it ain't Tori
Yeah,
Shulman.
it is.
Nope. She's crashed into many vehicles while parallel parking. You won't believe what this guy can do. Next. We are. Before we go, you've got to see this Guinness World Record for parallel parking. It's bonkers. This stuntman performs the tightest ever parallel park in reverse, no less. He whips the car into the spot going full speed and leaves less than 14 inches between his car and the other two. Wow, Tori, you are not even close to this person.
What do you mean, Sam?
Erica, I feel like you're a really good parallel parker.
Well, I did beat Jeff when we had our parallel parking contest because it was the Battle of Chicagoans. That's a must. You need to know how to parallel park.
I think we have footage, don't we? Or do we not have it of this? Okay, so this is us. Sam, this was you and me.
Overshot it, guys. Rather do a many point.
She did a nice job.
Like a bug in a rug.
Like a bug in a rug.
It's pretty darn good, Tori.
And then watch what happens when I try.
And bang. Yeah, we're gonna leave you with that, folks. Yes, we are. Before we go, I wanna give a shout out right now. My little Sophie is watching us with her cousins, Mia and Jackson. We love you, Mia, Jackson, and Sophie. Be good over there. I'll see you soon. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Thank you, Erica. Have a great weekend, everybody. Woohoo!